What you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away with Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the worst
Yeah,
mistake.
I can do that.
Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
What's up, guys?
And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race.
saw Destiny destroy some people in a debate today over on Wick's channel. That's pretty good. Yeah, I try to combine that. It's not a perfect solution because Restream Bot is like basically everybody tags Restream Bot over and over and over again instead of tagging the actual person. But I like chats combined, so people know that there are people watching in other places, I guess. But I do like the combined chat, but I wish it would get rid of the Restream Bot and somehow substitute just their name. That would be a lot better, but it is what it is. It's not a perfect solution, but it also allows me to, I use an extension to combine the chats, and then I can highlight the chats on the screen like this. And I don't have to go to each individual thing. That is the Social Ninja extension for OBS, or it's a Chrome plugin, but I like it. Yeah. All right. Let me start Facebook just quickly here. I can't play to the first because they copyright strike my music, even though it's copyright free music. So give me a second. Yeah, Destiny fucking, I don't know who the other guy was with Destiny. He did really good too, but Destiny destroyed the two guys that were on there. It was not great. Yeah. I like Wick's channel. I like the debates he sets up too. He does a good job. What the hell? Refresh. I'll roll the intro. I can get it in a second.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in?
Thanks.
Is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I did watch the Wick debate. Was really good. It was on. We can watch part of it. Hold on. I want you guys to watch it on Wick's channel. Like, I'm not gonna watch it all, but we can watch part of it. It was basically on, is Trump the? I didn't even watch it on Wick's channel. I think I watched it on Destiny. Did I get an alert for it? Maybe that'll take me straight to the video. It was Trump, is Trump the greatest threat to free speech we've seen in our generation? We can watch the opening or something, but it was pretty good. I think Wick got like a $500 donation towards the end of it. At that point, I wasn't watching. I was just listening in the background.
Greatest threat to free, I guess.
And I joined about halfway through. I haven't seen the opening anyway, so we'll check it out. Trump's tariffs rejected today. Yeah. He is not happy, dude. He had a fucking meltdown. If you saw his press conference afterwards, he had to justify the fact that he can read like 5 times. Like, he had to tell the press, I can read like 5 times. It was bad.
Okay, gang. I wanted to start on time at least, even though everybody's late today. Oh, thank God. Okay, great. Hello, you're live. Okay.
Hello, hello.
Hi. People were telling me you were ARC rating, so I was like, oh, is it going to be stuck there forever?
No, I was grabbing exciting new microphones. You wouldn't get it with, okay?
Exciting indeed.
Well, wait, speaking of, I think on Discord, I think you're talking on your webcam or something.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me...
Yeah, but I like watching Destiny dunk on people. Like, I understand they weren't prepared. They didn't do good. Like, they didn't even know their argument half the time. But I like watching Destiny dunk on people.
So,
No, I always have cameras. What do you
It wasn't a good debate and like, oh, there's a lot of great back and forth. It was like a good debate where Destiny destroyed people.
Well, everyone needs to turn them on so we can start the show.
I'll come up in just a few seconds, just a minute.
Okay. Hello, Dev. How you doing today?
Hello.
Excellent. Let's get this party started. Steelborn's buddy hopefully is on his way, but we're going to start on time. And if I need to,
Yeah, they had like an Irish or Scottish guy that, props to him. I guess he literally just woke up and jumped right into a debate. That'd be tough.
Be only on his side with Steelborn here today, but we'll see what we can do. Welcome. One and all to yet another episode of Wick TV. It's a cross-ideological space where we come together to talk about issues both political and cultural, from the silly to the serious. And gang, have we got a show for you tonight? We're going to be talking about whether or not Trump...
I was on Wick. Yeah, I was on, this is the channel that I was on that time with Sage and those other two guys that they didn't even read the document that we were debating.
The greatest threat to free speech that we've seen in America in a generation.
Grid and...
Many on the right were very critical of Biden
somebody else.
and his alleged attacks on free speech, though many free speech organizations today are very critical of Trump, even more so. When Stephen Colbert reported that CBS lawyers had called him and told him not to air his interview with Democratic primary candidate for Senate, James Tallarico, I figured it was a good time to talk about this again. The FCC recently changed the rules on equal time and how...
Even when, what's his name, went on a podcast, the head of FCC went on a podcast and is like, well, if they can't get Jimmy Kimmel and these people under control, then we'll have a lot more paperwork to do. What do you think that is?
Things. And apparently, according to the FCC chairman, they will be going forward not allowing the bona fide news interview exception.
Grid and Gibbs. Yeah, that's it.
With a lot to go over, and I'm glad we're all here. I'm going to give the mic first to Destiny, and then we'll just kind of go around the room, and we'll see what we got. Destiny, what are your opening thoughts on this? Go ahead.
I think Trump is weaponizing different parts of the executive branch in ways that we've never seen before, whether that's with direct requests to FCC commissioners to deplatform.
I don't think the $500 donation was anti-Destiny. I want to say that it had something to do with something Trump did.
Late night host that he doesn't like, whether that's the insane weaponization of the DOJ to file ridiculous indictments against political opponents or prior political opponents, whether that's weaponizing the DNI and the FBI to go after Georgia because he wants to prove that he won 2020. The unlimited number of statements that Trump has made attacking the media, saying he won't take questions from fake news CNN and all these things. It's just, we've never seen a president so brazen, so lawless, and so anti-freedom of speech for people that he has political disagreements as we've seen with Donald Trump.
Okay, thank you for being here. Steelborn, is that your buddy backstage?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Want to make sure. Okay, welcome to the show. Dev, what are your opening thoughts? You're muted. Dev, come on. Wake up, gang. You're muted on your end, buddy. Wonderful. This is great. Let's move. It's one of those days, gang. Steelborn,
like a
give us your thought.
ninja.
This is the tone for missing my streams. This is the tone for missing your streams. This week, a lot going on between teaching welding class. Then daughter will be moving back in after break. Oh no! Then last night, almost taken out by a tornado. Well, it could be a good thing. Your daughter's moving back in. Breakups suck. I have a 14-year-old that had his first girlfriend, and they broke up after like 3 weeks. He was acting like it was the end of the world. Then he got mad at me and snitched to his mom that I was being mean to him because I told him to suck it up.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I think in order to demonstrate that
Thank you for the donation.
threat to free speech we send in a generation, we'd have to actually establish a standard of what a threat is to that and then make sure it's consistently held.
Well, what would your idea of a threat be, and what would it take to be consistently held?
Well, so unfortunately, the burden of proof here is actually on Destiny and Dev. They're the ones making the claim.
People.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I was in the washroom.
Dev, what are your thoughts here? Go ahead.
Okay, so I didn't know who the two of you guys were, so I decided to go check out your channel a bit before we started. No offense. And so I decided to kind of figure out who
What
you
the
are.
hell are you working so late on, Jen?
Maybe how we can build a bridge here. So when we talk about what liberal
Legislation or something?
values are, I generally look at two liberal political theorists like Arendt or Popper. I think we can distill down 4 broad values from their work. So you have freedom of expression, which covers free speech, free press, open inquiry and debate; freedom of conscience, which covers religious and political affiliation; freedom of association, which puts the consent of the individual at the center of relationships rather than familial duty or other forms of duty like feudalism; and then you have constitutionalism, which doesn't mean having a constitution; it means limitations on state power. The idea the government should not be able to do some things. The law should apply to all equally. This sort of stuff. These 4 values have a lot of overlap, and I think free speech has a foot in each one of these domains. So when I started doing political content on YouTube, it was during Gamergate, and I was very pro-Gamergate. I was very anti-SJW back in like 2014. But it was for fundamentally liberal reasons. The leftists of the mid-2010s held very anti-liberal views, meaning they didn't value freedom of expression.
That's right.
They didn't value freedom of association. They didn't value freedom of conscience. The neo-Sarkeesian feminist types, the Vosh-style bread tuber types in 2019, these guys were all fucking cancerous. They all violated these liberal principles. And so I have a reputation of being anti-SJW or anti-leftist, or I guess anti-woke, you might call it now. And it's for all of those reasons that I completely oppose.
The only reason I like Liam to have a girlfriend is because he gets on these, he gets like in these stints where he thinks like nobody likes him and this, and I'll never have a girlfriend or whatever. Then he gets a girlfriend. Then he doesn't really like it because he likes to hang out with his friends and play video games and shit like that. and a girlfriend just takes up time. So I don't mind that he, you know, only has a girlfriend for a few weeks or whatever. But at least he's not on one of these things like, no girl likes me kind of deal. I don't know if I can handle that.
Every single possible way. Because for as cringe and as nannying as the leftists were, they didn't ever hold any real political power. They weren't in the government. Trump going after late night TV hosts, going after the seditious six for saying, you know, don't follow illegal orders, suing pollsters for polls he doesn't like, going after journalists, all of these things are far worse than what the liberal left did. Because the liberal left did not control the state. There were like overreaches in like universities. I remember, you know, fire alarms being pulled in Milo and Sargon and Lauren Southern and everyone else back in the 2010s. There was censorship on social media. None of this is the same level as Trump directing the government to do it. So I already know where you guys might go with some of this stuff, because I was involved in the anti-SJW stuff. I know the leftist examples you're going to pull out, and Trump is worse than all of them.
100%.
Thank you for that. We're going to get into it, I'm sure, as we go. We got a last minute fill in. I guess Stillborn's buddy is a no-show, so we're going to mark that down for later. Teriak, is that how you say your name, sir?
Yep.
Okay, what do you got? What are your thoughts on this? Is Trump the greatest threat to free speech that we've seen in a generation? Why or why not? Go ahead.
Nails on chalkboard.
No, and because I don't see like anything different that he's done from any of the different presidents. From an outsider to say that Trump is a threat to free speech because he shit talks some TV hosts, I don't see the rationale here. And then even just like the fact that he's back and forth with the press, like that's what you want.
Shit talking TV host is, well, it's probably unpresidential. It's dumb, right? He goes on Truth Social and he's like, oh, they're super low rated, low IQ, blah, blah, blah. Directing the FCC to go after them and to implement a rule that's never been implemented in late night or talk shows or interviews, is so far as there's a unique exception for this equal time rule. And he's directing the FCC to go after these people specifically, trying to get them off the air. That's not shit talking a late night show.
Your president, you want your press to go hard.
I wish he would shut the fuck up. Like, I wish Trump would be more presidential. I wish he wasn't fucking sharing goddamn adrenochrome memes on Truth Social. It's just not him.
So you get to the truth. But the fact that there's like disagreements, I don't see how that's limitations of free speech. And if there's a thing of like,
oh, by the way, before we get too carried away, let me make sure I get this right, because I already forgot it once. So you guys know how I always get donations from what? I often get donations from a group named Jen and Jason. Well, today is Jason's birthday, so everybody wish Jason a happy birthday in the chat. It's his 43rd birthday. Happy birthday, man. I don't sing, or I would sing, but happy birthday to Jason. They've been around for a long time, so happy birthday, man.
Like, oh, but like he's preventing me from saying like what I want to say. It's like, but if there's certain things that you might want to say that free speech doesn't protect. So we have to make sure that we apply onto that line. So like I said, outrageous claims.
My birthday was just 5 days ago.
Outrageous claims need outrageous evidence to back them up.
Happy birthday.
Okay, well, thank you for being here last minute. I do appreciate that, and thank you.
Appreciate the fill-in, Teriak.
Yes. Okay, with that, let's open it up the floor, and let's see how this shit show goes. It's been a day, gang, so here we are. Go ahead, Destiny.
Yes, I guess my first question would be, can we think of a single example as egregious as Donald Trump suing pollsters for polls that he doesn't like that's happened in the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years?
And it would be one thing if this poll, if there was some type of evidence, like something come out, or a leak, let's say a leaked text message came out from someone that was working for the pollster, and the pollster's like, no, I don't really care for those numbers. Instead, what we're going to do is say this and this, and we'll make it look like Trump's doing worse than what he is. That's one thing, right? Let's open a goddamn criminal investigation. Let's shut that shit down. Trump not agreeing with a poll is not grounds for fucking anything. Except for him to lean heavily on someone, throw a bunch of fucking money at it, and try to silence them into oblivion with the threat of lawsuit. Or levying lawsuits against corporations that later need his executive power, the group from his executive power, to be approved for mergers or to be approved to sell or to do this or to do that or need licensing through the executive branch, right? The same way he did with Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus needed a merger coming up. It was the executive branch that was going to be signing off on that merger. Suddenly he sues them and they're like, oh yeah, let's settle.
An attack on our media or press from the president.
Well, how is suing pollsters an attack on free speech?
What do you think?
I don't think that'd be an attack on free speech. You can sue somebody for people file ridiculous lawsuits constantly.
You guys remember how hard he went after Fox News? Do you guys remember when Fox News first called Arizona for Biden? And the fucking MAGA came unglued. By the way, I used to be MAGA. If you're new to the show here, I don't know if you know this. I was raised super conservative. I'm in a town of like 10,000 goddamn people in Northeast Tennessee. It's like fucking red plus 29. Like, it's fucking insane here. And I fucking came out of that. a lot to do with January 6th and shit like that. Trump, mostly. I fucking hate Trump. I didn't. I voted for him. I even campaigned for him at one point, but now fuck Trump.
What did that have
I mean,
to
you
do
would agree with that too.
Wait. What did that have to do with what I just said?
Well, the idea.
And they're not going after any fucking body that's doing crypto scams. In fact, Trump's doing his own crypto scams. Like, that should be something the government should be working on. These rug pulls, these influencer rug pulls, these insider trading. They should be looking into shit like Polymarket. They should be doing a lot of things that our government should be doing. But Trump's doing it at the same time, so they can't even look into it.
It's supposed to be a threat to free speech because he sues a pollster. I don't see that as a threat to free speech. I mean, maybe you could say it's stupid or he's a dick.
Why don't you steelman it? Why don't you steelman it for me?
Do you want me to
ask
steelman
the
a question?
I
wasn't
want you
arguing, it was a
to steelman
question.
how the president of the United States, who's in control of major mergers, who's in control of who gets indicted, I want you to steelman for me how him suing pollsters that release polls that he doesn't like might be a threat.
You can't convince me that someone wasn't manipulating Polymarket to make a shit ton of fucking money when Maduro was part of the snatch and grab. Right? Like, someone made millions of dollars that Maduro would be fucking snatched up and that the government would intervene and shit before Monday. And they did it like a couple hours before the U.S. invaded.
Free speech. I want you to try to steal that.
Can you just do me a favor? Can you provide anything
To make your argument for you.
No, because this is not a real question. If we're going to be this stupid right off the bat, then this conversation is pointless.
And what pisses me off is, like, I got started, my whole channel blew up. It used to be a lot bigger, but my whole channel blew up. And my first channel and all the subscribers and all the views, I was covering grifters, right? People that lie, cheat, steal, take your money, tell you what you want to hear, and send them money. Some of them claim to be secret government agents. Others are doing crypto and rug pulls and shit like that. And, like, I thought eventually we'd get to see some accountability. Even if you want to be the crypto president, that doesn't mean you have to support meme coins and rug pulls or not prosecute these influencers that are grifting their audiences. Like, that's fucking insane. There has to be, I understand the argue for deregulation, but there has to be something around these rug pulls. Like, holy fuck. You'll never have legitimate crypto if every time we see crypto in the news, it's illegitimate crypto and someone just stealing money. Like, no one's ever going to believe in fucking Bitcoin or whatever crypto you want to succeed. They're never going to believe that if every news story is, hey, so-and-so promoted this and told everybody that they were going to make millions of dollars, and then as soon as everyone invested, they sold off all their shares.
It's not a threat to free speech. You should be able to give an example of something that's worse for free speech than the president suing a pollster for a poll he doesn't like.
Also, the Board of Peace is a complete fucking sham. And why are people not pissed that we are putting $10 billion worth of taxpayer money into it? Trump is the leader of it for life. The only companies that have joined are like fucking dictators that have to pay $1 billion to join, right? Our allies aren't even part of it. And we're putting $10 billion worth of taxpayer money into it. I like crypto. I like the idea of crypto. I hold a bunch of XRP. It's doing fucking really shitty right now. But like, I don't have an issue with crypto. I have an issue with meme coins and rug pulls and people manipulating the market and influencers manipulating the market. Even what's her name? The Haktua girl did a quick fucking rug pull. Trump did a rug pull on his way into the Oval Office, and Melania.
You do realize you're just saying, it's like, I want you to make my argument for me.
No, I'm not. My argument is relatively self-evident. I can walk through the whole thing if you want.
He's worse, I think, Bug Dude. Like, he sells goddamn everything. Remember his NFTs and his fucking gold shoes and his Bible and his watches, and then the watches came and they were misprinted. They didn't even say his name on them.
There's a massive chilling effect that's made on the media or people who are doing polls if they feel like the president of the United States, who's also weaponized the investigatory and arrest part of the executive branch towards political enemies, if that guy is filing civil lawsuits against you because he doesn't like a poll that you made, I think that creates a chilling effect on people that work in media, on people that do polls.
Absolutely, right? That he's saying, like, if you put out polls that aren't supportive of me, then you're liable to get a lawsuit if I don't like it. The only reason my XRP is up is because I bought it a long fucking time ago. It's still way down. I should have fucking sold it, but hindsight and all that. But I bought it fucking a long time ago. And I kind of forgot I had it, so I probably would have sold it already.
Polls, which is a threat to our freedom of speech because you have the right to poll people and publish the results of those polls.
Yeah, but you also think that people should be afraid.
What? Hold on.
How is that?
Oh, wait.
I just said.
Hold on. Somebody just brought up something good. When Trump was selling steaks and that's 24th Amendment. When and Trump University, you know, that's how he and Pam Bondi met. Hold on. He basically paid off Pam Bondi in an illegal donation to her campaign. And at the time he was running, it was a charity that made a donation to her campaign, but they weren't allowed to make donations to political figures or campaigns. They tried to lie about it and write it off. They got busted. Nothing ever happened to them, of course. This video is what I'm talking about.
Bondi has helped Trump do crime since 2013. You need to know the backstory behind this tantrum.
So the day before, she says Florida is going to join the other, I think there was like 9 states, the other 9 states in seeking legal action against Trump University. The next day, she gets a $25,000 donation from Trump's charity towards her campaign for re-election, right? A week later, she announces that they're not going to be pursuing any type of action against Trump University. Just watch. He explains it better than I ever could, but this is where I found it.
I'm going to answer the question. You don't tell me.
No, I did.
Dow was over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. She keeps going after President Trump, the greatest president in American history.
3 key facts about how Pam Bondi has covered up for powerful men. Number 1, it looks like Trump bought Bondi's loyalty with an illegal $25,000 payment.
And this payment is, there's no question, this payment's illegal. The group that he used to make this $25,000 donation to her campaign is not allowed to make political donations, and they try to hide it.
2013. In case you forgot, in the early O's, Trump was running a fraudulent scam university.
At Trump University, we teach success. That's what it's all about, success.
A lot of these people got nothing from Trump University. It was basically like, you know how you go to those pitches, like life coach pitches, and think about like Grant Cardone, but much smaller because they did it in like hotel lobbies and shit or hotel meeting rooms. Basically, you went to this high pressure pitch where they told you just do better, be the best, you know, sell your ass off, whatever. Then you did breakout groups where they would have this high pressure sales tactics to get you to buy more training and emails and newsletters and shit like that. And it was all just to collect your money and give you nothing in return.
Cheated thousands of victims out of tens of thousands of dollars. In some cases, their whole life savings for a university program that did not exist. Some victims lost their homes. Trump cheated one Army Gold Star widow out of her husband's death benefit.
She used her husband's death benefit to get this training, thinking that now that I'm, you know, I don't have a husband to take care of me, maybe this will put me in a position to make money. Again, dumb on her part, but they didn't hold up their end of the deal either.
The victims allege they were pressured to pay everything they had and got nothing of value, no actual instruction in return for their...
Back when I was a Trump supporter, I used to listen to Grant Cardone shit all the time. And I think Grant Cardone's not bad if you use him for like motivation, like get off your ass and go do something at work and blah, blah, blah. But when you break it down, like his whole thing is 10x, right? Just work 10 times harder. Spend 10 times more on marketing. Be 10 times better. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And ultimately, he's to get you to a place where you show up and pay him money, right? You go to his conference, you pay him money, you buy his merch, you do this shit.
A lot of the victims lived in Florida. Now, in 2013, when Pam Bondi was running for re-election as Florida's Attorney General, she personally solicited a campaign donation from Trump. Around the same time, Bondi told the Orlando Sentinel that her office was looking into joining other states in legal action against the Trump University scam. 4 days after the article was published, Bondi's PAC received a
4 days after an article where she said, we're going to go together with these other states and go after Trump University. She gets a $25,000 check from Donald Trump to her PAC for re-election.
$5,000 check from the Trump Foundation. This was an illegal payment because the Trump Foundation was a 501c3 charity, which was barred from making political contributions.
No 501c3 can donate to PACs or directly to candidates or any of that.
But that didn't stop Bondi's PAC from cashing the check. Guess what happened next? Bondi's office announced it would not be taking action against Trump.
Wild, huh?
What a strange series.
Now, she could have known him. I guess I shouldn't have said this is how they met. She could have known him before that, right? She personally solicited a donation from his group or whatever. But this is the first time that they were that's documented they were doing illegal shit together.
Of coincidences. The Trump Foundation later falsified its tax records, unsuccessfully trying to conceal the donation.
So they knew it was illegal, right? They knew the $25,000 to Pam Bondi was illegal, or they wouldn't have tried to hide it in their tax record. But they were caught.
And Bondi, well, she's been on the Trump train ever since.
Lock her up. I love that.
Number 2, Bondi gave Epstein a pass while she was Florida's Attorney General. Now, let's be clear. Bondi was not responsible for the 2008 sweetheart plea deal that let Jeffrey Epstein walk away with a slap on the wrist for heinous crimes against children. That happened before Bondi was Florida's Attorney General, and it was arranged by then U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, Alex Costa, who went on to become Trump's first labor secretary. Notice how everything with Epstein and Trump is always intertwined? But Bondi ran on bringing people like Epstein to justice.
And I'll fight to put human trafficking monsters where they belong, behind bars.
And she was Florida's Attorney General for 8 years, during which more and more Epstein survivors spoke out. And Epstein was living in Florida and allegedly continuing to abuse children.
So she wasn't technically part of the sweetheart deal that happened before her, but she didn't do anything further after the sweetheart deal either.
So what did Bondi do? Number 3, Bondi defended Trump in his first impeachment trial.
She's cheap. I've seen your feet. I don't know that you should be out here just demanding top dollar, to be honest with you. Austin sent us all your feet.
The open corruption and criminality that's happened since makes Trump's first impeachment seem almost quaint. But please try to remember how appropriately shocking it was at the time that Trump got caught trying to illegally withhold about $400 million of aid for Ukraine, unless Ukraine's President Zelensky would do Trump the personal favor of announcing an investigation into the Bidens. This was some of the clearest proof that Trump sees the power of the presidency as his to wield for his own personal...
I think he still holds that against Zelensky, even though it was leaked from inside the White House. He knew there was no investigation there. He knew, but he just wanted the announcement that they were opening an investigation because he knew it would hurt Biden.
Gain, not in the service of the American people, which is why it ought to have been alarming that he appointed a lawyer who
ain't got no legs
personally to be America's top lawyer, the Attorney General, and then another personal lawyer, Todd Blanche, his criminal defense attorney in his New York trial, to be Deputy Attorney General. Bonus fact, Bondi sided with Trump against the American people again as part of Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election.
I don't know that maybe there should be like when you go to appoint people, maybe there should be like a thing like you go back to your party and they give you a list of like 100 people you can pick from, and none of them could be personally related to you or just there to do you a fucking favor or some shit.
Bondi has spent over a decade.
The fact that he just brought his lawyers with him that have consistently helped him commit crime is wild.
Placing her loyalty to Trump above her oaths of office. So it figures that she would try to redact the reported 1 million plus references to Trump in the Epstein files and lambast anyone who dares to question Trump's extensive and well-documented ties to a convicted child predator. And it's not surprising that she refused to speak to Epstein survivors or even turn to face them when they were directly behind her. I'm Alan Piper at apiper13 and Piperama. Follow Courier Newsroom to stay on top of this developing story.
So that was a pretty good way to put it together. What is the name of the, hold on. I want to say her name's like Grandma or Granny or Grandmother. This lady. What is Trump still grifting for? Like he has all the money, right? He has all the power. He has all the people in place. Why is he still sending these emails?
The campaign team informs me that I've won the Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm undercover in MAGA, so I get all the emails that they send out. But
these are the emails he sends to his followers.
Do you know that the Lifetime Achievement Award is actually a real thing? It's actually a very high honor bestowed by the President's Volunteer Service Award program, recognizing individuals who have documented over 4,000 hours of volunteer service in their lifetime. But if you're on the email list, all you have to do is make a minimum $35 donation, and you get this little card that says you won it. And if that's too much trouble, you can also just push this box that he had at the bottom of every single email for nearly the entirety of last year, that whatever you donated, if you donated $1 and you wanted to donate it a second time.
Like, I understand he's like raping the country, right? Him and his family. But why is he still taking $35 from your grandma? Like, he's doing all the things and the $10 million here and the millions there. And he's in charge of the peace board and his sons are out getting all the contracts and doing all the crypto. Why is he still taking $35 from your grandma?
You'd win it. At least once a week, Donald Trump's campaign team informed.
She goes over all the emails.
When his campaign team
Karen, you hit the jackpot. It's Trump. You won a spot in the MAGA Millions Club. Get recognized at 47.donaldtrump.com. Text stop to end.
Decides to give out not just one new participation trophy, but 2 new participation trophies to MAGA in just one day. This came out today. The MAGA Millions Club and the first class MAGA status. Here's the first class MAGA status. As I stepped onto Air Force One, I thought, why should you be stuck in economy status forever? After all, you're a critical piece to my mission. You're the fuel to the MAGA movement. Air Force One would have had Kamala Harris's name on it instead of mine without your support.
It wouldn't have had a name on it until you got there and put your name on it, bro.
Time again, you fueled us to a victorious destination. That's why I'm asking you to claim your first-class MAGA status now. It's going to be a bumpy ride. And your choice of how much money you want to give him.
26, 47, 100, 250, 500, 1,000, 3,000.
Claim your spot. This email was titled, You Hit the Jackpot. MAGA Millions Club. I wanted to personally reach out and be the one to tell you, you've won. Congratulations on your brand new spot in the coveted MAGA Millions Club now. The radical left, the deep state, and the fake news media, they tried to stop us. They came after me and they came after you. They wanted to take away your voice, but you didn't let them. You stood tall, like a great monument. You fought through the hoaxes and the witch hunts, and because of your incredible loyalty, we are winning like never before. You're 1 in a million. Actually,
I don't get as many emails as she does, but I do get emails still.
Better than that. You're a winner. Congratulations, with the S on the next line. We're making our country greater than ever, and I want you by my side in the winner's circle. So I'm asking you, will you accept this amazing membership today with deepest gratitude and unbreakable resolve? And this is one of the $33 option ones. You know, Trump is losing his base when his campaign team decides. I almost envy the delusion that this man has. He posted a couple times this afternoon.
We're going to watch about the
In
tariffs.
response to the Supreme Court decision on tariffs, notably,
He freaks out and sets a 10%.
I only want Americans to vote in American elections. We do too. I am the official spokesperson for the insane radical left liberal. I'm their official spokesperson. I've been voted in by the commission. And I would just like to let you know, we do too. We don't think the SAVE Act is the right way to go about making that happen. Okay, that's all. That's all. Have a good day, everybody. Donald Trump posted that I have a dire warning for the radical left. Donald Trump is preparing. He's just
Right now, the stage is being set. I'm preparing to walk up and address the nation in Georgia. I'm moments away from delivering a massive announcement.
Moments away from delivering a massive announcement that will shake American history, crush the radical left. I'm so scared. And send the fake news into total meltdown. This is huge, bigger than big, the kind of move only I, Donald Trump, can pull off. They won't know what hit them. You need to be locked in with me right this second. I'm counting on you, MAGA, to join the MAGA Rally Blitz before I step on this stage. I haven't asked you this in a really long time. He actually asked them this yesterday. This could be the most important thing you do all day. Who knows, maybe I'll even text somebody who stood with me right after my rally. So stand with Trump as the radical left shakes in our boots. So right after he sent that message, he sent this one. I was sipping on a Trump diet soda.
Here's what, I haven't looked much into the SAVE Act except like overviews. I haven't actually read the text. What does it do to people that are already registered?
Right there. I was looking through your file. Your email address is missing. I wanted to email you, but I couldn't. But luckily I had your phone number. I don't have time for it.
I was sipping on a Trump diet soda. And it's a Trump can of... Is he going to start selling... You guys remember the MAGA phone? That's still not a thing, right?
Call. After all, I am ruining the country. I think that's right. I don't have my glasses on. If it isn't too much trouble, could you confirm your email address? Don't worry. I'll only send you the most important messages when I need.
Before I finish my diet Trump soda. I'm sure there are delusional people that are up there in age that probably need to be in a home and they're not yet, that think that Trump's actually emailing them. Hell, we cover a guy that thinks that she was dating Keanu Reeves through Telegram. Or his mom thinks that she was dating Keanu Reeves.
To the most, I need you today to chip in money. And right on the heels of that, there's another new club. Membership invitation to the Trump Gold Club. The radical left is launching an all-out war to flip Congress in during the midterms. November is closing on fast. They're desperate to stop us. I thought we were shaking in our boots with fear because you're going to crush us today. in Georgia at your speech? But he had a golden idea. He needs his top people, the strongest, most loyal fighters in the Trump Gold Club immediately. This is the elite inner circle that makes the difference. You get all of these imaginary benefits, really my personal things.
Yeah, their mock-ups and stuff were not only Samsungs, but they're also iPhones. But their phone was supposed to be all made in the USA, blah, blah, blah. But it's still not launched. They still haven't launched their phones.
Being a true champion. Spots are vanishing. Don't wait. And this is one of those ones with that $33 I'm a racist option. I kind of wonder if there is something more. Like if you were to sign up for this, if there
It's just a rebranding of, there's already a Liberty Mobile. You guys know that. Just like Trump RX is just Good RX with a couple more drugs on it that he personally forced the makers into agreeing with him.
be more emails or something. So I was wondering maybe I could borrow someone's credit card to sign up for that because I don't want to give them mine. I have a dire warning for the radical left. Donald Trump is preparing. He's just moments away from delivering a massive announcement.
Yeah, so the T1 phone is still taking $100 deposits. And it used to say it was 100% made in America, but I think they changed it to say designed in America. Hold on. It's brought to life right here in the USA with American hands behind every device. We bring care, precision, and trusted quality to every detail. American proud design. But it used to say made in America. Now they're saying it's an American design for the T1 phone. And the service that they have launched, I guess, you can get an S24, S23, an iPhone 15, an iPhone 14. They're all used because I don't think he's partnered with any carriers. They're all called renewed. And it's on the back of Liberty Mobile, which has been a thing that podcasters, right-wing podcasters, have been advertising for a while. It's like a patriot-based straight talk, kind of.
That will shake American history, crush the radical left, I'm so scared, and send the fake news into total meltdown. This is huge, bigger than big, the kind of move only I, Donald Trump, can pull off. They won't.
Fucking insane.
In case you're
Dude.
wondering how.
All right. Back to, we'll watch a little bit more of this, then you have to watch the rest of it over on Wick's channel.
Because you're the one that's have make claims that conservatives have to be afraid. No, because this is your standard, Disney.
I gave you, no, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what's her name was running around, the rapper was running around like, I got it, look, and they're like, that's not a real one.
You told me to walk you through the most self-evident claim in the world, and I just wasted my time doing it. Now I want you to respond to that without pivoting to some other completely relevant thing.
I'm not pivoting. I'm giving you a standard to compare against. You're saying that because Donald Trump won't say because
virtual network operator, yes.
Whether you agree or disagree, that's the correct speech.
Because Trump sued a bunch of pollers. I'm just trying to clarify your position. You're saying that because Trump sued a bunch of pollers, now these pollers are in fear.
Yes,
free speech, losing free speech. Yeah. So why do you want the same thing for conservatives?
How is that responsive to anything we're talking about?
Because if you're saying that conservatives should be in fear of their life when they go to events, for one thing, because you don't have a consistent standard. That's what I'm pointing out.
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with a consistent standard. I'm not the president of the United States. I don't control the DOJ. Do you recognize that?
Yeah, but we're all under the same law.
This is the same thing when like Destiny's on Piers Morgan, and they're like, well, you say that Trump shouldn't be saying these things, but one time you tweeted that you were glad that a fireman died at the, yeah, I'm not the fucking president. Or anytime you bring up in a debate crazy shit that Trump said, they'll find a random person on Twitter that said something crazy on the left. Yeah, that's why they're not the president. Actually, Destiny was in a debate with somebody that I think it was a Piers Morgan clip. And the woman's like, oh, suddenly, it was a female. She's like, oh, suddenly we don't like felons. Like you keep saying Donald Trump's a felon. What about George Floyd? Like, yeah, I wouldn't vote for George Floyd. Just letting you know.
You recognize that I'm not. No, we don't have the same capabilities. My ability to chill speech by suing somebody is not the same as the president of the United States who's weaponizing a DOJ. Can I weaponize the Department of Justice or a local prosecutor? Do I control any of those things?
Yeah, like you can.
Do I control
as a collective?
I'm not a collective, am I?
Yes.
I am a collective.
You can be. You can be.
Back to the president. Can you think of another president that has weaponized his ability to sue people, that's done something that is as much a threat to freedom of speech as suing pollsters for polls that he doesn't like?
Even if you want to claim that past administrations have had some type of backdoor that we didn't know about into the Department of Justice, right? And they've been secretly sending memos like, hey, maybe you should check into so-and-so, no one's been as open as Trump is. Like Trump's like, Pam, why haven't you arrested these people? Everybody's asking me. So much fraud. Where you at? Adam Schiff. He needs to go. Letitia James. I want to know why there hasn't been an arrest, Pammy. Like, what the fuck?
Can you think of another example of another president? Because that's what we're talking about. A president that's done that.
I'm not sure how that's a threat to free speech.
Okay, so you can't. Can the other guy? I'll take the W on the topic, and then we can talk about other shit if they want.
Steelborn, what do you think?
Yeah, so you want to so you're asking if I can think of any example of any president doing anything that would be as chilling to the populace, the media. Okay, that's what I want to make sure of.
First of all, wait. Do you agree that suing the pollsters that's creating a?
I think this is where I started watching.
For no valid reason, right?
No, I'm not going to grant your psychological report of how it makes you feel when the president sues people. I'm just not going to do that.
Exactly.
Okay, but this conversation is then nothing can chill free speech, right? You agree with that, right? Give me
nothing can chill free speech.
Correct. Yeah.
How about people being arrested for saying stuff? I mean, like, wouldn't that be more chilling free speech?
You can't write letters in jail. So you're wrong there. Can you give me another example besides being arrested?
Hold on. Not about writing letters. No, can you be like? When you agree that'd be more chilling?
Psychological framing. No. You said before that suing somebody doesn't keep them from talking, or you're not going to buy the psychological thing.
I'm sorry. Are you more or less free in jail, Destiny?
You have free speech. You can write letters. Some of the most famous.
Are you more or less free?
Nelson Mandela. Have you ever heard?
So we can lock you up, but you can talk.
Some of the most famous. Yeah, you still have freedom of speech.
Free speech.
Okay, just to be clear, just please. This has been.
All right, I gotta go. Watch the rest of it on Wix channel if you want to. I would advise watching it. It's pretty good. Trump press conference today. Supreme Court strikes down his global tariffs. He was not. It was bad. It's a really good debate. Well, it's a good debate if you like Destiny dunking on people, and Deb did good too. The other people did not seem prepared or have very good arguments, but I don't think there is a good argument of that. I don't know that I could still man their side. Trump clearly has breached this like veil that's supposed to remain between him and the DOJ and the FCC and blah, blah, blah. Like he should be above all that, right? Even if his personal opinions are like, fuck Jimmy Kimmel, I think he should be, sent to Gitmo or some shit. He should be above that, at least publicly, at least on the publicly side.
Over there if you want to
I know a guy my age who's on meth and he thinks he's a targeted individual. I love those guys from a distance. But he's in LA right now, sleeping in his car because he went to meet Miley Cyrus because some fan page convinced him it's Miley for amazing. Targeted individual. God damn, how late was he to this thing? TI versus TIP. Teach you how to tote that too. A dope boy.
Wow, that's a lot of people. That's a new record. We set a record every time. Well, thank you very much for being here. The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed.
Ashamed, you say?
The courage to do what's right for our country. I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for their strength and wisdom and love of our country, which is right now very proud of those justices. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue against them. There's no way. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long, that I can assure you. The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no. They're an automatic no, just like in Congress. They're an automatic no. They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation. Those
a dope man, that's it.
They're an automatic no, no matter how good a case you have. It's a no. But you can't knock their loyalty. It's one thing you can do with some of our people. Others think they're being politically correct, which has happened before far too often.
This is normal speed.
With certain members of this court, and it's happened so often with this court. What a shame. having to do with voting in particular, when in fact they're just being fools and lapdogs for the rhinos and the radical left Democrats, and not that this should
some that he appointed, right?
Have anything at all to do with it. They're very unpatriotic and disloyal to our Constitution. It's my opinion that the court has been swayed by
literally their only job is decide what is constitutional and what isn't.
Foreign interests and a political movement that is far smaller than people would ever think. It's a small movement. I won by millions of votes. We won in a landslide. With all the cheating
There's at least a couple behind the podium
that went on, there was a lot of it. But we still won in a landslide. Too big to rig. But these people are obnoxious, ignorant, and loud.
What are we doing here? Ugh. They're obnoxious and ignorant Supreme Court justices. Infinitely more educated than Trump. They're ignorant. He's just got extra lumps. I don't know if that's from age or what. He's got lumps.
With all the cheating that went on, there was a lot of it. But we still won in a landslide. Too big to rig. But these people are obnoxious, ignorant, and loud. They're very loud. And I think certain justices are afraid of that. They don't want to do the right thing. They're afraid of it. This was an important case to me, more as a symbol of economic national security.
Basically, everybody's made this argument. IEEPA can't be used for what you're trying to do. You can't just... Trump's entire governing strategy, right, has been declare everything an emergency and then do... Well, it's Project 2025, right? The president has pretty extensive emergency powers. So Project 2025 says, make everything a fucking emergency. Do it unilaterally, right? By yourself. You don't need fucking Congress. The first time you were in, Congress didn't help you that much, right? They weren't all on board with the hell, let's just rob everybody and say, fuck the laws. Now they are. But Trump is still in this mentality, if everything's an emergency, I can address all emergencies. Even now, actually, we'll go to, before we go too far, let me go to News Girl. This is what the Supreme Court ruled. Basically like, hey, IEEPA, which is your emergency powers to do this and do that, you can't do tariffs under that. Now, there are still many laws that you can do tariffs under, but it's not these. So,
$1,300 or 90%.
That's not it. I'm an idiot. Let me refresh. That's how much we're paying in tariffs. The average American is paying tariffs. Trump's tariffs are illegal.
In a bombshell decision and the biggest defeat so far for President Trump, the Supreme Court just ruled that no, Trump cannot impose whatever tariffs he wants, whenever he wants, on every country in the world.
Here's what I do think was dumb. The Supreme Court should have already ruled what their opinion is, even if they didn't say it's like mandatory. Their opinion is on whether people are owed a fucking, people are owed that money back, like a refund, which again, I think the administration knew there was a pretty good chance they were going to be shut down because Howard Lutnick's kids have been buying up people's tariff refunds.
President Trump is pissed about today's Supreme Court ruling on his tariffs. So pissed, he insulted the conservative justices that he appointed, and he imposed a 10% tariff across the board on the entire world, on top of the tariffs that we already have in place.
Effective immediately, all national security...
We're going to watch this in a second.
Under Section 122...
Can't go about it another way, and that's exactly what tariffs... doesn't mean he can't go about it another way. And that's exactly what Trump is doing. And he said he's not going to stop there.
Numerous other federal statutes.
In a bombshell decision and the biggest defeat, the Chief Justice John Roberts wrote the majority opinion. He was joined by conservative justices Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett for parts of his opinion, along with the 3 liberal justices. And throughout this opinion, the majority of the justices say every single argument that the Trump administration was using during oral arguments to justify imposing these tariffs using the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEEPA, failed. See, Trump has been arguing there's a national security threat when it comes to trade deficits and fentanyl, so he formally declared them as national emergencies. And he said the way he reads IEEPA, if he's declared these emergencies, then IEEPA gives him the power to impose all these tariffs whenever he wants without the approval of Congress. Today, the Supreme Court said, wrong. Now, as I've been reporting repeatedly for more than a year, the fact is tariffs are a tax. And in today's opinion...
By the way, I think we give Trump way too much credit. So earlier today in that debate, that WIC debate, someone asked, do you think that Trump thought that those seditious six, the Congress people who told military members not to follow unlawful orders, do you think that Trump actually thought that they were committing sedition? And Destiny's point was, no, because Trump doesn't know what the fuck sedition is. If you gave him a piece of paper and a pen, set him at a desk without his phone or the internet, and said, define sedition, he couldn't do it, right? The same way that she just said, well, Trump says that under IEEPA, he can, no bullshit. People around him are telling him that he can do this. Because if you sat Trump down with a piece of paper and said, what powers do you have under IEEPA, right? Trump wouldn't even know what IEEPA stands for. He wouldn't get through that. So the people around him, Stephen Himmler and the project Russell Voigt, Project 2025 people are telling him these things.
The Supreme Court said repeatedly that
Big
the Constitution
TikToker
of the United States gives the sole power to tax to Congress, not to the President of the United States. The Chief Justice wrote, the President asserts the extraordinary power to unilaterally impose tariffs of unlimited amount, duration, and scope in light of the breadth, history, and constitutional context of that asserted
And she's not even left. Like, she just basically reports the news.
He must identify...
But people hate her because the news is usually against Trump.
...authorization to exercise it. We hold that IEEPA does not authorize the President to impose tariffs. Now, there are two important pieces of information you need to understand. Number one, just because the Supreme Court ruled today that Trump cannot use IEEPA to impose these tariffs doesn't mean he can't go about it another way. In fact, President Trump has already...
They did mention in their ruling, right, that in their opinion, that they're not sure that Trump would win under these other laws either, but they're not ruling specifically on those today.
That he is absolutely going to try and impose tariffs, perhaps using another law or another authority. Now, it's unclear which one, and it's unclear if that authority would give him the ability to impose tariffs as widely as he already has. But there are definitely other laws that Trump will absolutely try and use to continue his tariff plans. And number two, now that the Supreme Court...
Now, what you need to know is I can't remember the name of it, the law that Trump is using right now. It's some Economic Powers Act of 1972 or some shit. It only allows him to put these 10 or 15% tariffs on, I think it's 10% tariffs on, for 150 days. After 150 days, it has to go through Congress. There are also two other laws that they mentioned that he could potentially use, and I haven't looked those up yet. Apparently, there has to be studies done before that. IEEPA is the International Emergency Economic Powers, right? But the other two laws, I think they have to do studies before. Like, you have to do a study to look at the damage that's being caused by these foreign countries and the lack of a tariff and how this would improve, blah, blah, blah. You can't just say, okay, this uninhabited island, 100% tariff.
Says Trump's tariff under IEEPA are illegal. What happens to the $200 billion that's already been collected from you and from U.S. businesses who have already paid these tariffs? Will the U.S. government be forced to return all that money to those who paid it? And how would that work? And what's
Even Trump doesn't know. Even Trump says at this press conference that we're going to watch in just a second. He's like, well, how would you even do that? By the way, I want to show one more video before we go to the press conference.
What happened to the tariff money that President Trump has already been boasting that he already spent? Well, the Supreme Court majority gave no guidance on that at all. All they said is that this case will return to the lower federal court in the District of Columbia for further litigation. But in his dissent, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who was joined by Justices Alito and Thomas, said it's not really the Supreme Court's business how their rulings play out in the real world. They're just here to interpret the law. However, Kavanaugh acknowledged the fallout from this ruling is likely going to be a mess. So if you want to read this ruling for yourself, I'm going to email it out to you tonight in my fax. President Trump is pissed about today's Supreme Court ruling.
I think she addresses part of it here. Hold on. Where's the part with her whiteboard? Sorry.
President Trump is pissed about today's... And that's exactly what he said. He's not tariffs that Trump...
There we go. So he could use 232, the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, 388, the Tariff Act of something, 301, the Trade Act. This is the one he's currently... Oh, maybe it's the 122. I think it's the 122 is the one he's currently using for the 150 days.
Already implemented fall under these laws. The Supreme Court only said today that he cannot use IEEPA, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, to impose his tariffs. But about that 10% global tariff that Trump put on today, he's using Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974. Here's the thing about Section 122. That law says he can only impose up to 15% tariff.
So what is IEEPA supposed to be used for? It's supposed to be like this extraordinary foreign threat that there's no way that Congress could understand it and fight it and legislate it right now. So we need like an emergency action to take care of it right now before it somehow destroys our country, right? Think of a brand new technology that another country came up with that we had no idea about, and it's taking over, and it could expose all of our secret documents and computer systems and something to it. Like, something's got to be done right the fuck now. Congress doesn't have time to fucking debate it and come up with a law and pass this and implement it. I need to do something now. That's what it's supposed to be used for. Trump uses it because he's like, we're going to tariff everybody. That's fentanyl.
150 days. After 150 days, he either has to remove that 10% tariff, gone, or he has to get Congress to approve and extend it. That's only about 5 months, so it is very possible that other countries are going to see this 10% tariff and be like, we'll just wait Trump out, because it is unlikely that our Congress is going to approve his 10% tariff. But knowing that, in those 5 months, Trump has also said that his administration is going to conduct all the necessary investigations that are required under Section 301 of the Trade Act and under Section 388 of the Tariff Act to justify more tariffs. In fact, this one could allow for up to 50% tariffs. Now, despite what Trump is saying today, and even if he tries to impose tariffs under any of these authorities, that doesn't mean that it's actually going to happen. Trump will obviously be challenged again in court over whatever he does, and the Supreme Court said Trump may not win those cases either. But when it comes to what this means for you, will you be seeing a refund for the tariffs that you have?
It is kind of wild that we made it this far into America without someone pushing as hard as he has to, like, test the boundaries, right? To, like, durability test fucking America. Democracy, I guess. This is the other video I wanted to show before we go into his speech. Trump's been lying. Every time he's been asked about tariffs, he said trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions. All of his cabinet says trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions. Everybody's repeated trillions and now it's 150 billion.
So since Liberation Day, there's about $175 billion.
175 billion
now in limbo. Do you have to refund $175 billion?
Think of it, Peter. Very fair question. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars, not millions, hundreds of billions of dollars.
No. That's not what you've been saying. You haven't been saying we've been taking in billions of dollars. Let me refresh your memory.
We're taking in trillions of dollars from tariffs. $18 trillion. $18 trillion. $18 trillion. Because of the tariffs, we've taken in more than 18. Think of this, $18 trillion.
You're not.
Why does he keep repeating that if it's actually, 175 or 200 billion? That's a big difference.
Are you? Because if you're not, and we did bring in $18 trillion, you owe us some money. Hey, chat, how many taxpayers are there in the United States?
As of the 2022 tax year, there were about 153.8 million individual income tax returns.
Hey, chat, what is $18 trillion divided by 153 million?
18 trillion divided by 153 million is about 117,647.
You owe me $117,000. Where's my motherfucking money? Obviously, none of us are going to see a dime. Corporations are already filing lawsuits to get a return on the tariff revenue.
Imagine being the corporations that sold your tariff receipts for a potential refund if all this went tits up like it did to Howard Lutnick's kids for fucking pennies on the dollar.
Even though
you owe, let's say you paid, $3 million in fucking tariffs, and you got this receipt that if for some reason it's overturned, you're going to get that money back from the government, or you're supposed to get that. And instead you sold it to them for $100,000.
We're the ones that paid for it. So that's cool.
So since
all right, now we can watch this press briefing.
Security, big to Rick. But these people are obnoxious, ignorant, and loud. They're very loud. And I think certain justices are afraid of that. They don't want to do the right thing. They're afraid of it. This was an important case to me, more as a symbol of economic national security, and also, I would say, just for our country itself, so important, because we're doing so well as a country. We've never done so well. The good news is that they're...
Are we, though? The one thing that you were going to bring back was manufacturing jobs, and those are down. Groceries are up 30% across the board. Gas is down a little bit, I guess. Inflation's about the same as when you took office. Is this the Gilded Age or what the fuck ever?
Our methods, practices, statutes, and authorities as recognized by the entire court in this terrible decision, and also as recognized by Congress, which they...
he's going to. He's going to. What we need is before he has time. We need midterms in. I think he'd blatantly do it, like even after, as soon as someone was convicted, though, right? As soon as Congress starts messing around and calling people, but he's going to do it. Then he's going to point to Biden. And the reason Biden did it was basically him as well, because he was fucking threatening again and again and again to go after all of his family and Fauci and all these other people. So he felt like he had to pardon him. So basically, it's all fucking Trump's fault, the way we treat pardons now.
They refer to that are even stronger than the IEEPA tariffs available to me as President of the United States. And in actuality, I was very modest in my ask of other countries and businesses because I wanted to do, and it's very important, I wanted to be very well behaved because I wanted to do anything, I didn't want to do anything that would affect the decision of the court, because I understand the court. I understand how they're very easily swayed. I want to be a good boy. I have very effectively utilized tariffs over the past year to make America great again. Our stock market has just recently broken 50,000 on the Dow, and simultaneously, and even more.
By the way, I was looking at his crazy signature close-up video we got the other day that was not like his normal signature, and I'm pretty sure he wrote Donald Don instead of Donald Trump. I've been watching it. I know I covered it a couple weeks ago. I've been watching it over and over again. I'm pretty sure he wrote Donald Don.
More amazingly, broken 7,000 on the S&P, two numbers that everybody thought, and simultaneously, and even to great again. Our stock market has just recently broken 50,000 on the Dow, and simultaneously, and even more amazingly, broken 7,000 on the S&P, two numbers that everybody thought upon our landslide election victory could not be attained. Think of that. Nobody thought it was possible to do it within 4 years, and we did it in 1 year.
We haven't broken 7,000 either. We're at 6,900.
Said you'll never be able. You'll go back and you read
when Bondi said that we broke 50,000 on the Dow. The Dow. I don't know why you're laughing, Raskin. We hadn't broken 50,000 either.
The geniuses read their statements.
He wrote Bort.
Nobel Prize winners in economics. They said, no, you couldn't do it in 4 years. Well, we didn't do it in 4 years. We did it in 1 year. We broke every record in the book, and we're continuing to do so. Tariffs have likewise been used to end 5 of the 8 wars that I settled. I settled 8 wars, whether you like it or not, including India, Pakistan, big ones, nuclear, could have been nuclear. Prime Minister of Pakistan said yesterday at the great meeting that we had, the Peace Board, he said yesterday that President Trump could have saved 35 million lives by getting us to stop fighting. They were getting ready to do some.
That's right. Make sure you like the stream, like Fellrunner said. Make sure you like the stream. Join our Discord if you want to.
Bad things.
Thanks for helping, guys.
But they've given.
We need to grow again. That's right.
Security these tariffs have. And together with our strong borders, reduced fentanyl coming into our country by 30%. When I use them as a penalty against countries illegally sending this poison into our country to poison our youth, all of those tariffs remain. They all remain. I don't know if you know that or not. They all remain. We're still getting them, and we will after the decision. I guess there's nobody left to appeal to. But again, those 3 people, such respect. I've had a lot of respect for them anyway, but such great respect. But other alternatives will now be used.
I think it did break 50,000, but it hadn't broken 50,000 while she was testifying. I think it broke later.
To replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected. We have alternatives. Great alternatives. Could be more money. We'll take in more money, and we'll be a lot stronger for it. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. We'll continue to do so. To show you how ridiculous the opinion is, however, the court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1. I can't charge $1. Can't charge $1 I would have used 1 penny, but we don't make the pennies anymore. We save money. Can't charge $1 to any country under IEEPA. Not $1.
Here's the problem. So, like, the Dow Jones hitting $50,000 is good, but the whole world is kind of on this, or the whole developed world is kind of on this fucking bull run, I guess. So, just looking at it, if you took every dime you had in the Dow Jones and put it in the VXUS, which is the Vanguard every country but the United States, you would have 3 times as much money right now. Like, if you put $100 in, or if you would have had $100 through the Dow Jones, you'd have $300 with the VXUS. So it is a flex that we hit 50,000, but why is the Vanguard International, which is the VXUS, it's every stock but United States stocks, right? Why is it doing so much better?
I assume to protect other countries. This must have been done to protect those other countries, certainly not the United States of America, which
the biggest, the largest.
That's what they're supposed to be protecting. But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign...
So he can destroy the trade. He can destroy the country. But he can't charge them, not even $1.
Country destroying embargo. I can embargo.
And that's not what they said. You can't do this under IEEPA.
Anything I want, but I can't charge $1. Because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even reads. I can do anything I want to do.
Big X the plug. When he comes out on stage, he's like, hey, how you say Texas in German? Oh, it's just Texas? My bad. But
I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little 2-cent fee, but I cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them anything. Think of that. How ridiculous is that? I'm allowed to embargo them. I'm allowed to tell them you can't do business in the United States anymore. We want you out of here. But if I want to charge them $10, I can't do that. It's incorrect. Their decision's incorrect. But it doesn't matter because we have very powerful alternatives that have been approved by this decision. You know, they've been approved by the decision for those that thought they had us. And they're saying that...
You think if the stock market crashes, people would care about prosecuting pedophiles then? Or... Like, what does the Dow have to be at to where we go after the fucking elite pedophiles in the Epstein files?
I have the absolute right to license, but not the right to charge a license fee. So think of that. I have the right to license, which is a very powerful word. In many ways, license is more powerful than tariffs. In fact, I was thinking about using it. But they came up with the...
You were thinking about Jews again?
So think of that. I have the right to license, which is a very powerful word. In many ways, license is more powerful than tariffs. In fact, I was thinking about using it. But they came up with the idea that I can license, just like the people that were opposing me told them to do, but not the right to charge a license fee. Think of that. Who ever heard of such a thing? What licenses ever...
Here it is. This is what I was referencing. So price comparison for the Dow Jones Industrial Index, right, versus VXUS, which is the Vanguard Total International Stock ETF. So again, look where you'd be at. Yeah, the Dow Jones is up, but why is all this other, like, international index funds doing so much better when we take the U.S. out of it? Because Trump is fucking slowing our economy. Yeah, so we didn't have the greatest economy under Biden, but we're doing better than the rest of the fucking world. Under Trump, we got an economy that's going up, at least stock market wise, even though everything's unaffordable. But we're not even keeping up with international index funds. He's artificially slowing our economy, especially manufacturing.
Have been issued without the right to charge a fee. You get a license, you charge a fee. It's automatic, but not with this court. But now the court has given me the unquestioned right to ban all sorts of things from coming into our country, to destroy foreign countries, but a much more powerful right than many people ever thought we even had. but not the right to charge a fee. How crazy is that? Our country is the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. And it was a dead country 1.5 years ago under an incompetent president. But now I'm going to go in a
That's
different
right,
direction.
grassroots.
Probably the direction that I
End up a flare or something.
should have gone the first time, but I read the language. I'm very good at reading language, and it read our way 100%, but now I'll go the way I could have gone originally.
I'm very good at reading language. It read our way 100%. Really? Because all the Supreme Court does is read the language, then listen to your brilliant argument, right, from whoever the solicitor is, and then they decide if it fits or not. I read it. It goes our way 100% when you read the language of IEEPA.
Should have gone the first time, but I read the language. I'm very good.
There's so much saliva in his mouth, dude. It sounds like I've recently started doing fucking pouches or whatever again to try to vape less. And it sounds like when I've got to spit and I'm like talking around all this spit in my mouth because we're driving or some shit.
Reading language, and it read our way 100%, but now I'll go the way I could have gone originally, which is even stronger than our original choice. As Justice Kavanaugh, whose stock has gone so up, you have to see, I'm so proud of him, wrote in his dissent, although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. So, think of that.
Yes, no one is arguing that there's no law ever that you could ever implement tariffs under. The argument is, that was brought by a bunch of small businesses, right, all the way to the Supreme Court, that IEEPA ain't it, bro.
Decision might not substantially constrain.
That Ric Flair woo.
And it doesn't, he's right. In fact, I can charge much more than I was charging. So I'm going to just start
Also, all of these are going to be challenged in courts as well. Will they do as well as this one? Will they make as good arguments? I don't know. But it's not like they're like, okay, well, we got him on IEEPA, but if he uses, the fucking Economic Act of 1972, there's nothing we can do. They'll be there, right? They'll be there to argue that as well. That's right. Don't forget about Bortz. Yeah, his shoulder. Well, so he wears very, very heavy shoulder pads. Sometimes you can see them like sticking out. Like, think of like a North Korean general where they're like fucking shoulder board like sticks out like 2 inches. Sometimes you can see him sticking out pretty bad. His shoulder pads and then the way he's all hunched up don't do him any favors.
Though I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. That's because numerous other federal statutes, which is so true, authorize the president to impose tariffs and might justify most, if not all, of the tariffs issued in this case. Even more tariffs, actually. Those statutes include, think of that, those statutes include, for example, the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, Section 232. All of these things I know so well. The Trade Act.
I know them so well. I was just talking about this last night.
Of 1974, Sections 122, 201, 301. And the Tariff Act of 1930, Section 338, all clear. But it's a little bit longer process. I thought I'd make things simple, but they didn't let us do that. I would like to thank Justice Kavanaugh for frankly, his genius and his great ability. Very proud of that appointment. In actuality, while I am sure that they did not mean to do so, the Supreme Court's decision today made a president's ability to both regulate trade and impose tariffs more powerful and more crystal clear rather than less. I don't think they meant that. I'm sure they didn't. It's terrible. And to think that the Democrats who oppose this only because they want to go the opposite way, they'd like to pack the court. They want to put on 21 people. They want to pack the court, pack the Supreme Court. Maybe they should do it. Maybe they would be better off if they did it. They want to pack the court. They want to do anything to hurt our country. There will no longer be any doubt and the income coming in and the protection of our companies and country will actually increase because of this decision. I don't think the court meant that, but it's the way it is. Based on long-standing law and hundreds of victories.
That's right. He lowered all the prices.
Or even thousands of victories over the years. To the contrary, the Supreme Court did not overrule tariffs. They merely overruled a particular use of IEEPA tariffs. And essentially, it's used to get a fee. I can do anything I want with IEEPA. Anything. I just can't charge anybody for it. I can license, I just can't charge them. It's ridiculous, but it's okay because we have other ways, numerous other ways. The ability to block, embargo, restrict,
You can tell he was upset, and that's how the people around him were calming him down, saying, look, there's 100 ways to do this. All they blocked was this one thing, and we just did it because it was fast, you know. But you can tell that's the way they were trying to calm him down. Don't worry, we'll figure it out.
Or impose any other condition on a foreign country's ability to conduct trade with the United States under IEEPA has been fully confirmed by this decision.
Make sure you like the show if you're over on YouTube, please. And if you want to support the show, there's a link you can use. Or the built-in super chats, super stickers, bits on Twitch. But there's a link if you want to do like the buy me a coffee or whatever everybody does.
So now there's no doubt, because, you know, there were a lot of questions about tariffs because no president was smart enough to use them to protect our country from those countries and businesses that were ripping us off. You took a look at the deficits that we had with some of these countries. It was disgraceful what they got away with for many, many decades. But now we know, because this decision affirms all those things that some people weren't sure about. In order to protect, and it says so, in order to protect our country, a president can actually charge more tariffs than I was charging in the past period of a year.
Again, he's making arguments that no one made. The argument is, under IEEPA, you cannot do this. You don't have the authority to do this. There are ways that you can do it. They're a little bit lengthier. Some of them have oversight. Some of them have time limits. Some of them go through Congress. Sure. But you can't unilaterally do this and just say, oh, it's an emergency because drugs exist.
Under the various tariff authorities, so we can use other of the statutes, other of the tariff authorities, which have also been confirmed and are fully allowed. Therefore, effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs, they're existing, they're there, remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices of other countries and companies. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and I say quite simply, which I've said for a long time.
He takes questions in just a minute.
Make America great again. And interestingly, we've already made it great, so I don't have to use that, but I don't think we'll ever give up on MAGA. MAGA is always going to be with us. If you have a few questions, you can let us know. But just to end, so we're going forward, we will be able to take in more money, and there'll no longer be doubt, because there was always doubt. I know the people that brought the lawsuit, and, you know, they're sleazebags, major sleazebags.
It's a bunch of small businesses. They're sleazebags. Sleazebags. Lawsuits filed by small businesses and different groups and a group of states, all of which say that they were affected by the increased tariffs, were filed in the lower courts, which agreed to challenge of IEEPA did not authorize Trump's tariffs, so those rulings were put on hold, allowing the government to continue to collect tariffs while Supreme Court proceedings move forward. He's just mad that it's blue states, I guess. That's what he's calling sleaze bags.
Sleaze bags, but I know them, and they're foreign country centric. They were sending things into our country, and the people representing them knew full well, but they were sending things into our country, and they were beneficial to other countries, but very, very bad for us. And I stopped it, and we'll just keep it going. So we have we have a totally firm decision now, and I don't think the court meant it, because the court doesn't show great spirit toward our country, in my opinion. A lot of bad decisions, but there are usually ways around it. This is something we could have done, as Justice Kavanaugh said, we could have done this originally, but we're doing it now, and the numbers could be far greater than the hundreds of billions we've already taken in. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, I'm very curious.
Thank
you so much, Mr. President. Justice Thomas and Alito, as you know, are the most conservative constitutional justices. Do you think that you'll get to a point two more?
The very first named person in this is Learning Resources Incorporated. Kids' educational toys and learning devices. Sleaze bags. Sleaze bags. Look how sleazy this company is, dude. Look. What the fuck? They want your kids to learn and grow? What fucking pieces of sleaze bags, dude. Sleaze bags. Damn, dude. I'd never do business with this sleazy company.
Justices later this term with similar ideologies, and what type of vetting process will they go through to ensure the uphold?
I don't know, but they're great justices. That's all I can say, and I hope they're going to be around a long time. I hope they're going to stay healthy. They're great people. They're great, and Justice Alito too. To add to the group, these are great men.
Right.
They're with a great love of our country and a great understanding of the law.
Mr. President, are you going to ask Congress to take additional action on tariffs now?
No, I don't need to. It's already been approved.
Why the fuck won't he just go? I mean, they've got the majority. The filibuster, I guess, but.
I mean, I would ask Congress.
I like when the president approaches Congress. Congress has to fucking negotiate. I don't like a supermajority, even when my side's in charge. I like when they have to negotiate. And it's just saying, fuck, instead of just saying, fuck you, we'll shut the government down, they actually do negotiate. Okay, what are the 10 things on your wish list? I'll see how many of them I can get to go through, kind of deal.
Probably get it. When people look at the real numbers, and you look at hundreds of billions of dollars that have come into our country. Yesterday I was at a steel plant, as you know, and I went to...
Hundreds of billions.
Great place, great plant, great, wonderful people. And they were telling me, I said to them, you were there, a lot of the press in this room. Of course, I don't think this plane's big enough to take the press in this room, but a lot of the press right here. We were in Georgia. And I said to the owner, I made a speech at a factory. They make steel products. And I said, how are you? Nice to meet you. How's business? President, I'd love to kiss you. This is a very powerful man. I don't want to be kissed by that man. But a very...
I bet you don't want to be kissed by that man, huh? Just like you're totally not interested in young, beautiful men.
But I was very proud of it. President Pena of Paraguay is here. President, thank you very much. A young, handsome guy. It's always nice to be young and handsome. Doesn't mean we have to like you. I don't like young, handsome men. Women, I like. Men, no, I don't have any interest. Good.
I bet.
That's right. That's right. Thank you very much. You're doing a great job, too.
I bet you didn't want to kiss him right on the mouth, did you?
Very powerful, strong man. He's been in the steel business for many years. His father started it. And he said, sir, I want to kiss you. I said, why? He said, because we were down to working 1 hour a week, and then you came in and imposed tariffs, and all of that foreign junk that they were dropping into our country stopped. And we're now going to double shifts, 7 days a week, and we may be very soon going to 24 hours around the clock, almost 7 days a week. He said, "Sir, I want to kiss you so badly." And I said, "No, thank you." But you know what? He just to finalize it, he said, "Oh, this is a great place in Georgia." He said, "All up and down the highway, same exact answer, sir. We're all going out of business. We're going to go bankrupt. We're all going out of business." And now every one of us are thriving.
He loves to make up these stories about shit that was never said to him by anybody ever, right?
Hiring people like we haven't. He said, like I've never, and he's been in business for, I think, 45 years, like we've never hired before. That's because of tariffs, and we're going to keep it going the same way. And you're going to start to see the results in a year from now when all those factories start that are under construction right now. You see all the construction numbers are so good. Those construction workers are building factories that are going to be open, including not only AI, which is big, but car plants coming in from Canada, who ripped us off for 30% of our market. Mexico ripped us off for a big portion. Over the years, they've taken our market. They've taken our cars. They manufacture them in Japan, Germany, and all over the place because nobody's standing in this position, the position I have as President of the United States.
I wonder who actually would have signed that deal that allowed them to manufacture in Mexico and Canada that replaced NAFTA. Seems like we could have fixed it when we redid that deal, right? Wonder who was in charge of that.
Had the insight, the courage, well, I don't know what it is to charge tariffs. You can.
Oh, no labor? Is that what you're saying, Q idiot?
Make your product outside. You can put our people out of business. You can put everybody on the unemployment rolls. But if you're going to make a car in some other country, you're going to pay a 15, 20, 30% tariff. And those things would have never happened. We wouldn't have lost our business. Same thing with, as an example, Taiwan. Taiwan came in. They stole our chip business. They make chips. For 30 years longer, they made chips.
I have this friend who's so fat, I call him a fat friend. And he says, but the shot I get for my fat, because he's so obese, $10 in Germany, $10,000 in America. Make it make sense. The fat's taking over my brain. I can't understand it.
Chip, and they put our companies. Intel would be now the largest company. I saved Intel. I literally saved it at the beginning of this administration. And now all those companies in Taiwan,
Trump saved Intel.
Factories in Arizona, Texas, and various other places because they don't want to pay tariffs. They're all pouring into the United States. But just like that great patriot said yesterday, sir, what you've done, nobody thought was possible. And Steve Moore, a highly respected economist, came into my office yesterday. He said, you've done something nobody's ever done. 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics said we would right now be in a recession. And you said, no, we're going to have...
The one time I told a cop I was running late for work, he said, now you're going to be real fucking late.
Booming country. We're going to have a booming country. You were right. All 22 were wrong, and you were right. This country is booming, and it's booming because of the election on November 5th, and it's booming for another reason. It's booming because of tariffs. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
What will you say ahead of this decision that if the Supreme Court
please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. What will you say to foreign nations who seek to renegotiate their deals? And what did you mean a moment ago when you said that the Supreme Court has been swayed by foreign interests?
Well, I think that foreign interests are represented by people that I believe have undue influence. They have a lot of influence over the Supreme Court, whether it's through fear or respect or
good night, Weld.
Friendships.
I didn't see you, but good night.
Some of the people that were involved on the other side, and I don't like them. I think they're real.
Like not alive, like Charlie Kirk?
Slime balls. And got to do what's right for the country. You got to do what's right for the Constitution. That's why I respect so much Justice Thomas and Alito, Kavanaugh, because they not only dissented, their dissent is so strong. When you read their dissent, you know, a lot of times you'll read a dissent and it's like, well, you don't know, it could go either way. There's no other way. The good news is, it's like Justice Kavanaugh said, very strongly said, you have other ways you can go. You don't have to go that way. You can go other way. There are numerous other ways you can go. And frankly, this should have been done by presidents many years ago. They allowed our country to be eaten alive. We lost 50% of our car business. We used to make cars. We made all the cars. And then Mexico came, Canada came, and Japan and Germany. But they're all coming back now. They're all coming back at record levels. No, please.
Do you regret appointing
I'm not talking to you. I don't talk to CNN. It's fake news. Go ahead.
Mr. President, yesterday you made the case that the economy is the hottest it's been in a long time. Right. January jobs report beat expectations, CPI report beat expectation, real wages are up. What would you tell Americans who are worried that this decision will kind of throw the economy that you have projected going in the right direction at a very rapid pace off track?
Well, thank you for the question. And I will say this, we really are at a very important point. I've been waiting for this decision so long. They could have made this decision a long time ago. Not complex. They're wrong on it. It's a ridiculous decision. But they should have released this a long time ago. We waited months. And that gave uncertainty. Now we have certainty. And I think you're going to see the country get much stronger because of it. Look, we were ripped off by almost every country in the world. If you look at the surpluses, almost every country in the world that did business with us, our people were stupid. And I blame presidents for it because they're ultimately the leader. We were being ripped off by almost every single country in the world had some massive surpluses. China had hundreds of billions of dollars in surpluses with the United States. They rebuilt China. They rebuilt the army. We built China's army by allowing that to happen. I have a great relationship with President Xi, but he respects our country now. Now, what we've done, I charged China a 20% tariff as a penalty for sending fentanyl in. And that was 20 times more than they could make by selling fentanyl. And I said, at some point you're going to say, and they have reduced it. Fentanyl is down by more than 30% coming into our country. Part of that is a strong border. We have a strong border now. But thank you. Thank you for your question.
Mr. President, sir, you warned once in a social media post that if the Supreme Court did this, shot down your tariffs, the U.S. would be, quote, financially defenseless. Are we financially defenseless right now? No, because
we're doing something in a different way. We're doing something in a very powerful way. And we're using things that some people thought we should have used in the first place.
Yeah, the Golden Dome is basically a lie. It's just not. It's not feasible at the scale he's talking about. Like, we have one of the best air defense systems in the world. We're not Israel. D.C. could have a dome over it, right? New York City could probably have a dome over it. But these places do, right? They have their own air defense network. But the way they're talking about the satellite, what we're talking about, fucking maybe 10,000 fucking satellites in low Earth orbit, and then 1/5 of those are going to be replaced every fucking year. And then we're talking about a kill vehicle that's probably $20 to $40 million. Like, get the fuck out of here. No goddamn way.
But it's more complicated. It's a little more complicated. The process takes a little more time, but the end result is going to get us more money, and I think it's going to be great. Yeah, please. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. So, since Liberation Day, there's about $175 billion.
A coastal air defense network with backups inland. And the way our systems, like no other systems in the world, are able to hand off targets between Patriot to fucking radar stations to F-35s to F-16s. That's the way to handle it. That's the way we're doing it. We're just too fucking big as a country to have a country dome. That's fucking stupid.
In tariff revenue that is now in limbo. Do you have to refund $175 billion?
Think of it, Peter. Very fair question.
Here's the refund question. Do you have to refund all this money?
But the end result is going to get us more money, and I think it's going to be great. Yeah, please. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. So, since Liberation Day, there's about $175 billion in tariff revenue that is now in limbo. Do you have to refund $175 billion?
Think of it, Peter. Very fair question. They take months and months to write an opinion, and they don't even discuss that point. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars, not millions, hundreds of billions of dollars. And so I said, well, what happens to all the money that we took in? It wasn't discussed. Wouldn't you think they would have put one sentence in there saying that keep the money or don't keep the money, right? I guess it has to get litigated for the next 2 years. So they write this terrible, defective decision, totally defective. It's almost like not written by smart people. And what they
Right. The ones in Israel are like fucking mortars being lobbed and short-range missiles, short to medium-range missiles. Yeah. Israel's a lot different. But Trump just thinks, oh, we've got this system that protects Israel from fucking goddamn jihadis out with fucking mortar tubes and rocks and shit. Why can't we just put that everywhere?
do. They don't even.
Trump's a child.
Your question is very basic. That was the first question I asked also to make you feel good. I said, what about all the money that we've taken in? Sir, they don't discuss that. How crazy is that?
It's going to be a big, if he keeps pushing it, it's going to be a big, gigantic waste of money that's just going to collapse under its own weight, right? It's going to be so big with so many moving parts and so many things that have to integrate and so many things that have to go together in a constellation in low Earth orbit, and this up cycle, and then identifying targets and not non-targets, just regular missile launches and this, that, and the other, and AI trying to identify targets, but also we have to have somebody that actually confirms that we're going to do this, and the kill vehicles are going to be so expensive. And then if a country really wants to strike us, all they do, it's in low Earth orbit, right? Blow up the fucking nuke in low Earth orbit where the satellites are. Boom. We just took out a constellation of fucking 9,000 satellites. Now what? The system's down. It's fucking stupid, man. We're just not there yet. And we have a pretty good air defense system. I know a lot of it's classified and a lot of it's not talked about. We have a good air defense system. Just trust me.
So what you're saying is,
look at how fucking well that a fucking 0.0001% air defense system does in Ukraine. I understand it doesn't shoot down everything, but they also don't have what we have, right? They have our sloppy fucking leftovers that were like outdated. And they're like, here, throw this out here and don't tell them how to run it and see what happens. And it's still shooting down things every goddamn day.
are you saying that you don't plan to honor refunds for companies that file for them?
I just told you the answer, right? I told you the answer. It's not discussed. We'll end up being in court for the next 5 years. Go ahead, Green.
Thank you, Mr. President. When you are talking about the relationship with countries that you have sought trade deals with, do you anticipate that they will seek to renegotiate those? What do you say to them? And do you view this as a potential undermining power for your
We're
negotiations?
going straight ahead with 10% straight across the board, which was the absolute right to do. And that's taking place. That's a lot of money coming into our country. And then during that period of about 5 months, we are doing the various investigations necessary to put fair tariffs or tariffs, period, on other countries.
There should be studies conducted and what it's going to do and what it's going to fix and what it's going to change and what we hope to accomplish, and that has to be presented and blah, blah, blah. That's what he's talking about with the other laws.
So we're doing that period, but we're immediately instituting the 10% provision, which we're allowed to do. And in the end, I think we'll take in more money than we've taken in before.
Put all the money in Qatar.
Mr. President, you've used the tariff revenue to pay for a host of federal policies. You claim that they will pay for.
Well, that's because he's lying, right? He's saying, oh, I want to do this. I want to give the troops fucking bonuses before Christmas. Well, that was already allocated for housing for all troops, but whatever, by Congress. I'm using the tariff money so it won't cost us nothing. He's not going to the tariff bank account and getting that money out and sending it, right? What he does is he just spends a shit ton of money, some of it of his own accord, a lot of it that's already been allocated by Congress for other things. All of it's already been allocated by Congress. They have the purse strings. And then when people are like, isn't that going to cost a bunch? He's like, tariff money. That comes from the tariff money.
For them, what happens?
Well, like the farmers, we took care of farmers. You know, the farmers were mistreated by foreign countries very badly, very, very badly. And last week I gave them $12 billion out of tariff money. We intend to, out of tariff money, because just so you understand, we have tariffs. We just have them in a different way. And now they've been confirmed by the Supreme Court of the United States. So there's no longer that question out there about tariffs. And we'll be taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. And countries that have treated us badly will have to pay a price for treating us badly, and countries that have been good to us will be treated very well. We just left the top person in a place called Vietnam, just left my office. Great gentleman, strong.
So the $12 billion that went out to farmer bailout money came from the Commodity Credit Corporation, the USDA's CCC. It's a Depression-era entity that allows the administration to secure funds from the U.S. Treasury without direct congressional approval. While the administration framed the aid as being supported revenue by trade tariffs, it was actually funded by the Treasury, not directly from any tariff collections. So none of that. I know people are telling them that, like, this won't cost us a dime because we got $18 gajillion in tariffs, but it's just not true.
And smart. He said, you know, I think this means you're allowed to charge us more tariffs than before.
Sure he did.
And Canada said to Jameson, I might want to say it, Jameson, but Canada said, I hope you win this decision, because if you don't win, you'll actually be allowed to charge us, with a little additional work, higher tariffs. Jameson, you want to comment on that?
Higher than 100% tariffs on uninhabited islands? I doubt it.
Yes, sir. So to the president's point, we have a lot of tools out there. We have Section 122, which will be implemented today. It will be signed today and implemented very shortly. We have Section 301 investigations, which are incredibly legally durable, where we can investigate and address unfair trading practices that have led to our huge trade deficit. And so you can look forward in the coming days and weeks to seeing all of that come out, and we're going to keep continuity in the program, and we're going to keep addressing this so that the deficit can keep going down.
Section 301 allows U.S. Trade Representative, the USTR, to investigate and retaliate against foreign acts or policies deemed unfair, unreasonable, or discriminatory to U.S. commerce. Used extensively for imposing tariffs, these investigations cover issues like intellectual property violations, forced technology transfers, and digital service tax, notably against the China and the EU. They're targeted. Investigations focus on issues such as forced technology transfers like China, or unfair trade preferences like Brazil, and intellectual property violations, again, like China. They have actionable outcomes. If the USTR finds a violation, it can impose a tariff, import restrictions, or other duties to counter the impact on U.S. businesses. They have procedural steps. Investigations involve public hearings, fact-finding, and consultation with the Commerce Department. They have a timeline and scope. While often used for swift action, investigations can take 6 months or more to conclude. They have an expiration. Tariffs imposed by Section 301 must be reviewed and generally expire after 4 years unless extended. So we've had one on China under this in 2025, 2026. Have one on Brazil under 2025. Nicaragua, 2024 to 2025. An investigation launched in regarding labor and human rights violations. But yeah, these are different than just, there's an emergency because drug exists, so I'm going to give a tariff to every country in the world.
That's the trend it has, and we can make America great again. No.
And we should be able to see what went into the investigation. What did they find? What did they claim was going on? What was the evidence of this? Did they have any back and forth with that country and say, hey, we don't think this is fair? Or did Trump just come out and call it reciprocal because he used AI to come up with just a bunch of random numbers?
Several of Republicans in Congress have...
Yeah, $100 million profit in 2 years on the warehouse in Social Circle, Georgia.
Support
to a fucking Russian national.
Decision by the Supreme Court. And Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader, has called you a wannabe king.
So he's only got 150 days on the Section 122 tariffs. If he wants to go to Section 301, there's no way he's completing an investigation on all these fucking countries and implementing tariffs in 150 days. There's going to be a lapse. And I think countries that want to move a bunch of shit in, or buyers that want to buy a bunch of shit for foreign countries, should wait for the 150-day expiration, get all the shit they can in free with no tariff, and then see what happens with Section 301. He may have forgot about it by then, or maybe it'll be dead. I don't know.
Why wouldn't him a low IQ? But why wouldn't he? Doesn't even know. And I watched him the other day interview. The guy doesn't even.
Several of Republicans in Congress have supported this decision by the Supreme Court. And Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader, has called you a wannabe king. Why wouldn't him a low IQ?
We're talking about like a year for a single country's investigation. Now imagine investigating every goddamn country in the world and trying to do it in 150 days, 5 months.
But why wouldn't
he doesn't even know? And I watched him the other day interview. The guy doesn't even know what a tariff is.
But there's been bipartisan criticism.
No, not bipartisan.
Of the tariff.
Excuse me.
There's several Republicans have said that.
Yeah,
But why wouldn't you just work with Congress to come up with a plan?
I don't have to
push tariffs.
I have the right to do tariffs, and I've always had the right to do tariffs, and it's all been approved by Congress. So there's no reason to do it. All we're doing is we're going through a little bit more complicated process. Not complicated very much, but a little more complicated than what we had. We'll be able to take in tariffs, more tariffs. And the Congress people and the Congress,
the Canadian tariffs last week. There's been votes in the Senate against it.
Yeah, because we lost 2 Republicans or 3 Republicans because they're not good Republicans. Don't say
they're lefties now.
That we got 215 votes.
You need 218 for something to pass.
Yeah, sure we do. We might have lost 3 votes, and we got. And what was the score on the Republican side? 215 to 3, right? But you don't say that. We have great unity. There's great unity in the Republican Party, and I hope everyone's going to vote Republican, because otherwise you won't have a country left. Because these people have been destroying. They are destroying our country. Please.
So, and especially across the board tariffs, right? He wants tariffs across the whole country. I think it took 11 months for the U.S. Trade Representative to investigate only the shipbuilding trade practices of China. Only shipbuilding. It took 11 months for them to get to the bottom of it. Collect evidence, hold issues, and issue a final conclusion that China's practices were, fucked up, unreasonable, and they announced like these port fees and some other things that went on just to investigate shipbuilding in China. It took 11 months. Now imagine investigating China's entire economy and China's claim that anything that comes from China, get the fuck out of here.
President, the 122 tariffs, that 10%, is that going to be for 150 days, or do you want to charge that indefinitely?
We have a right to do pretty much what we want to do, but we're going to...
Wrong. It expires 150 days without congressional approval.
Charge it starting effectively, I think it's 3 days from now. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, you speak to a lot of factory workers, a lot of manufacturing workers. What does the Supreme Court ruling say?
He told that one factory worker to fuck himself.
Hey, what's that message to those factory workers?
Well, I think the factory workers are happy because we're now telling them that they're going to... Look, the man...
Wait, factory jobs are down. Way down.
I met with yesterday, who owned a factory, was out of business. He was out of...
Do you think a factory worker is a factory owner? And do you think they have the same issues?
Business. And now he's employing 5 times. In fact, I walked in... He's got a brand new crane. I said, how old is that crane? We got it in December. He's allowed to write it off in 1 minute. The Great Big Beautiful Act gave no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. He said this great big beautiful
Tractory,
bill,
that's
frankly, has been the best thing that's ever happened for the workers of the, much more so than for rich people. The only thing it does for rich people, it allows them to hire a lot more people. But when I saw him, and then he said, it's all up and down the line. This is a place in Georgia, all up and down, other factories doing different, not only steel products, different. He said, every one of us was out of business. We could barely make it. Some of them were down to less than a...
Did you guys see the job numbers correction that came in? It was like, it was so fucking far off. It was so goddamn bad.
An hour a week, think of it, 1 hour a week to make just a few little trinkets or whatever they make. Now they're going round the clock. I had it a month ago. I went to Michigan, went to Ford, and I met with Bill Ford, the head of Ford, and we were in one of the biggest plants, an original plant from the early 1900s, where, by the way, I might add this, it's not really relevant, but it's all relevant. Murders are down the lowest.
At the Ford plant? Murders at the Ford plant are way down.
Since 1900, around the time that he had this plant.
So after the corrections, we basically had no job growth in all of 2025.
That's 125 years. We have the lowest murder rate. Okay. And our crime is way down in the country. The factory.
So the preliminary data said that we added like 500,000 jobs, right? But the Bureau of Labor Statistics revised that number after it received additional state data and found that the labor market had only added 180,000 jobs in all of 2025. In 2024, we added 1.4 million. 180,000 versus 1.4 million.
That we're talking about, the people that we're talking about, they are so thrilled with Trump. So whether we charge IEEPA tariffs or whether we charge tariffs under a different section, that's what we're going to be doing. There's no way we can lever. This is what happened to our country. This is why we owe $38 trillion, which we'll get rid of in pretty good course. We have a very incompetent Fed chairman who likes high interest rates. For political reasons, he likes them. But we're going to have somebody very good. Interest rates should come down very substantially. I think we should pay the lowest interest rates on the planet. There should be no country, and we don't do that. We're number 38. This is just bad policy for a long period of time. But what's happened is we've made America strong again. We've made America great again.
And then when inflation goes through the fucking roof, he'll say that was Biden's economy.
We should pay. As an example, the country of Switzerland, we were getting almost no tariffs from them. We had a $40 billion deficit. And the prime minister called me up. She said, but we are a small country, because I said we're going to raise it to 39% from nothing. That would have rendered them not very successful, as opposed to right now they're considered elite. But if we put a tariff, they would. And I realized then, she said, but sir, we are a small country. I said, you're a small country with a big deficit. For us, you're making a lot of money off the United States. If we do that, a lot of these elite countries, they're elite because we let them make so much money. And I want them to do well. But I don't want them to do well on the backs of the American taxpayer. So I appreciate your question. I think it's reasonable.
President Trump, you said that you were disappointed with that, but were you surprised with this decision? What you felt when you...
I was surprised because I thought...
I think it was like every American paid an extra $1,900 last year in tariffs. As an extra tax to you of $1,900.
That what we did was, number one, according to... I mean, I read the paragraphs. I read very well. Great comprehension. I read
very well. The best, some may say. I comprehend it all. I don't know. Why does he have to defend his reading so much, bro?
President Trump, you said that you were disappointed with that, but were you surprised with this decision? What you felt when you...
Were you surprised? What did you feel?
I was surprised because I thought that what we did was, number one, according to... I mean, I read the paragraphs. I read very well. Great comprehension. I read everything there is to read, and I said, we can't lose this case. But we can when judges are political, when they want to be politically correct, when they're catering to a group of people in D.C. Maybe. I don't know what it is, because when you read it, there's no other interpretation. There is no other interpretation. But it's okay, because what has come out, and I'll say it for the third time and maybe the last time in a while, is that we've taken the uncertainty of tariffs out, because we had uncertainty. We got sued by sleazebags. I know them.
We know the market loves uncertainty.
Well, that are very outside country, China-centric, but outside country-centric. And they're going to end up not doing as well as they did before. America was becoming really, really, we're strong again. Hey, we have the strongest military. I rebuilt the military in the first term. We have the most powerful military. We make the best equipment. And even them, you know, we could do much better. We have people that get paid a lot of money to manufacture Patriot missiles and javelins and all the different things. But when you want them, they're too slow. And we put them on notice, and they're going to make, our country is building a lot of things right now, and our country is doing really well.
The question was, were you surprised by the Supreme Court ruling?
Well, and we're going to keep it that way.
Apparently, the reports were he freaked the fuck out. He was in a meeting with like 20-some governors or some shit. When the news came down, he freaked the fuck out.
The bottom _ just resubscribed for 2 months.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the resubscription. Thank you for that.
Line is that the word
Buttonovs
is now in the equation. Every single thing I said today is guaranteed certainty. It's been tested, as Jameson said.
Butthole Knobs resubscribed.
Hundreds of times. He said, sir, actually thousands of times, and won in all of the courts. And we're just going back to that. And the problem is that we had other presidents that weren't into trade. Maybe they weren't business oriented. Maybe they weren't smart. We had some dummies too, you know. I respectfully say we had some real dummies. So
I hate I hate when he talks about anybody being dumb, right? Like, holy fuck.
We are going to keep it going just as before. Probably
a lot of people could pay money, but $1,900 makes a big difference in a lot of people's lives.
So, but you're no longer going to be asked. Every time I got up, you'd ask, well, what happens if you can't charge tariffs? Now we can. And by the way, in their decision, they specifically said we can do.
Hell yeah.
We have alternatives. Yeah.
On the trade deals that were negotiated using IEEPA tariffs, do those stand now, or are they have to be redone?
Some of them stand. Many of them stand. Some of them won't, and they'll be replaced with the other tariffs.
Mr. President, on the Supreme Court justices who ruled against this the policy striking it down, are they still invited to your State of the Union next week? And will you speak with them?
They are invited, barely. Barely. 3 are happily invited. No, they're barely invited. Honestly, I couldn't care less if they come. Okay.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. On the trade deal, which is the framework which is to be signed with India sometime soon, will that stand now? And on the decision, nothing changes?
No, nothing changes. They'll be paying tariffs, and we will not be paying tariffs. Our deal with India is they pay tariffs. This is a reversal from what it used to be, as you know. India, I think Prime Minister Modi is a great gentleman, a great man, actually, but he was much.
Bart could pay his rent, buy another sock.
In terms of the United States, he was ripping us off in India. So we made a deal with India, and it's a fair deal now, and we are not paying tariffs to them. And
Dope that too. Make that double. That'd be cool. You don't want no trouble.
As of now, for this, Mr. President.
No, the India deal is on here.
Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
All the deals are on. We're just going to do it a different way.
Mr. President. Thank you so much, Mr. President. I think there's another war that you told that you should take the credit, which is in Syria. Secretary Rubio, after his meeting in Munich with the Syrian foreign minister and the Kurdish general Muslim Abdi, he said that President Trump was directly involved in efforts to stop the fighting between the Kurds and the Syrians. How will your administration will make sure that this peace is sustained? And do you support the idea?
Oh, it's a very different topic, so I don't want to spend a lot of time. But all I can say is that the president of Syria, who I essentially put there,
who's a fucking terrorist,
is doing a phenomenal job. He's a rough guy. He's not a choir boy. A choir boy couldn't do it. But Syria is coming together, really coming together.
I didn't want to say anything, but I've been invited to the State of the Union.
Well, and thus far he's been very good to.
It's kind of a big deal. I've been invited to review it remotely from their YouTube channel.
The Kurds, yeah.
Thank you. Mr. President, what's your message to the Iranian people after 2 rounds of talks with them? Do you have any message to the Iranian people?
The Iranian people in Iran or people here?
People in Iran.
They better negotiate a fair deal. You know, the people of Iran are a lot different than the leaders of Iran. And it's very, very sad situation. But 32,000 people were killed over a relatively short period of time.
We're going to end up going to fucking war in Iran, dude. We've sent so much equipment there, like the likes of which we haven't seen since fucking OIF, right? The invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan. There's so much shit sitting out there.
They were going to hang 800 2 weeks ago. Hang, some by crane. They lift them up with a tall crane, and they play them around the square. They were going to hang 800.
They play them around the square, like one of those noisemakers for New Year's Eve.
37 people. And I gave them the word, if you hang one person, even one person, that you're going to be hit right then and there. I wasn't waiting 2 weeks and negotiating. And they gave up the hanging. They didn't hang 837. Supposedly, they didn't hang anybody. But no, I feel very badly for the people of Iran. They've lived in hell. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You mentioned multiple times foreign influence over the.
Just me leaning to the left. My gat steak hot.
You investigate that.
You're going to find out.
What alternatives are you going to put into place in your relationship with Europe, and also those tariffs that have been called illegal? How they're going to go impact the relationship with Russia? That you sanctions.
Well, I want Europe to strengthen up.
They want to affect Russian sanctions.
Europe has gone woke. Europe is not recognizable when you go into so many places. Not all countries. You look at Hungary. You look at Poland, Czech.
Oh my God! Someone said monkey, and it reminded me. Have you guys seen So there's this monkey named Punch, and he's like some type of weird Chinese monkey, but he's a baby, and his mother abandoned him. He's an orphan, so they put him in the cage with all the other monkeys, and they pick on him. But before he was put in the cage, he had this stuffed orangutan that he would cuddle with to like mimic his mother. And now the other monkeys pick on him. Let me just show you. It's wild, dude. And he runs back to this monkey for protection. The stuffed orangutan, that's Punch, the monkey. And he gets picked on by the other monkeys. See him like fucking with him? They bite him, they sling him, they throw him, and all he can do is run to his mother stuffed. It's crazy. He has done some integration, but it seems like it's kind of touch and go. So you'll see these like, oh, he finally got a friend, but then like 5 minutes later they'll be fucking with him. Here's one where they're like throwing him and see him fucking him up. So what does he do as soon as he's getting fucked up by these other monkeys? He runs in and grabs his stuffed mother. Look at him. And hides with it. Anytime they beat him up, this is what he does. How fucking sad can you get, dude? I thought it was AI. It was so fucking sad. Like Jesus was going to come give him that little fucking stuffed monkey thing. Like they're fucking him up. He runs and gets his stuffed animal monkey mother. And hides behind it. Like you can see the shadows of the other monkeys like running around. He hides behind this thing. And they don't know what the fuck it is. It pisses me fuck off of those mean monkeys. Fuck those monkeys, dude. I'd be laying down some goddamn law if I was a zookeeper. Fuck those monkeys up, dude. Anyways, I don't know how I got sidetracked there, but there you go.
Yeah, there are some countries that have gone very much the opposite. Some really, and some others.
Yeah.
But Europe has to be.
These hands rated M for fucking monkeys. That's what I'm talking about.
They become soft and not recognizable. You go into some of the countries, I don't want to be specific, but I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. And they're not recognizable. They become, the environmentalists have taken over. They've got windmills destroying their fields and their beautiful meadows and their oceans, and they're paying a fortune. Now, Europe
this is sadder than Trump.
Two things, energy and immigration. And if they don't solve both of them fast, Europe is not the same place. Yeah, please.
Justices Gorsuch and Barrett, are you surprised in particular?
That's right, Barry.
Today, and do you regret nominating them?
I don't want to say whether or not I regret. I think the decision was.
Yes, so it's kind of touch and go, but there are videos of him like cuddling with other monkeys. That's what I was saying earlier, like this one. This just come out 9 minutes ago. So maybe he's integrating better, but the last couple of times he's done this and they've been like letting him hang out. It's like a switch flips and they fucking body slam him and fucking throw him up against the wall and shit. I don't know. It's crazy. Fucking monkey politics is wild, dude.
I think it's an embarrassment to their families. You want to know the truth? The two of them. Yeah.
Specifically on that $2,000 tariff check.
Mr. President, I didn't call you.
You didn't call me?
Yeah, Mr. President, to be clear, do you believe at the end of implementing these new tariff tools, the tariff rate and tariffs will ultimately be higher than they currently are?
Potentially higher.
How much higher?
It depends, whatever we want them to be. But we want them to be fair for other countries. And, you know, we have some countries that have treated us really badly for years. And it's going to be high for them. And we have other countries that have been very good. And it's going
if you want to keep up with him, his name is literally Punch. Like you punch somebody, punch the monkey.
Very reasonable for them. Yeah.
Not to be confused with my pet chicken choke.
Question. I mean, on the $2,000.
I didn't call you.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. Do you have any plans to travel to India for the Quad Summit, and how do you? Specifically on the tariffs question. I mean, on the $2,000.
That's the second time he's pointed near her, and she thought it was her.
I didn't call you.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. Do you have any plans to travel to India for the
choke the chicken? Yes.
Your relationship with
India. My pet chicken.
I think my relationship with India is fantastic, and we're doing trade with India.
That's cool. Ball knobs.
India was getting its.
I have not seen it. I'll check it out.
Russia, right? And they pull way back at my request because we want to settle that horrible war where 25,000 people are dying every month. And my relationship with Prime Minister Modi is, I would say, great. I also stopped the war between India and Pakistan, as you know. There were 10 planes we shot down. That war was going and probably going nuclear. And just yesterday, the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved 35 million lives by getting them to stop.
I bet.
And I did it largely with tariffs. I said, look, you're going to fight, that's fine, but you're not going to do business with the United States, and you're going to pay a 200% tariff, each country. And they called up and they said, we have made peace. Okay. I just want to thank you all. Look, great certainty has been brought back to the economy of the United States.
He's trying to pitch it as a good thing. Well, we're certain that we can't do that shit now.
Actually, the economy of the world, because we generate so much in the world. We're the biggest in the world, and we're now the strongest by far. We were a country that was dead 1.5 years ago. Now we have the hottest country.
Look.
We're going to keep it that way. Thank you very much, everybody.
We didn't know if rape was legal. So we were out here raping some women, not raping other women. They made a very good case, and now we're pretty certain that that's illegal. women can rest easy now that we raped all of them, and they said, nope, can't do that anymore.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Did you say 32,000 were killed in Iran, sir?
Fucking loser. All right, have you guys seen this? I won't be able to watch all this. Have you guys seen this? This is body cam footage from a frat house hazing incident that has went viral. Have you guys seen this? It's fucking wild, dude. And like the cops come to like release the kids that are being hazed, and they think it's part of the hazing. They refuse to quit.
Does anyone want to be forthcoming on
Look how creepy this is.
what's going on?
This is some wild, newly released body cam video of what police in Iowa came upon when they entered a frat house.
You gotta see it from my perspective. What the did I just walk into?
A shocking discovery of possible hazing inside a frat in the middle of the night. It is
some kind of underground fucking homosexual rage fuck club. I don't know what's going on.
Bizarre. Frankly, it is creepy, and it is all caught on video.
You're not very forthcoming with everything. How about you ask the house dad to leave 30 years? So we're trying to get hold of. Yeah, go call him.
And just wait until you see how the brothers of this fraternity acted when police came inside. One of them was accused of making life difficult on the officers.
By the way, it's very interesting that this guy right here has lost his voice. All that tells me is that he was yelling at him all night.
We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Hey guys, real quick, I want to thank you so much for following this case with lawyers across 100, and their fee is just after midnight, and officers' cam video is ridiculous. So we're going to go back to November 15th, 2024, just after midnight, and officers with the University of Iowa Police Department go with firefighters to the Alpha Delta Phi fraternity because there's a fire alarm call. It's dark in here. Yeah, it's dark.
Crazy that the only reason they're there is because a fucking fire alarm. Dude, I understand hazing, and I went through hazing when I was in the military and had this, you know, a bunch of different things, and to be part of a unit, you go through the gauntlet and do this and whatever, right? But sometimes it can go too far, and there's got to be somebody there that's like, hey, this is too far. There has to be somebody there.
Can I get through?
Hey guys, going on here?
The fuck are those guys doing down there?
Who's in charge?
Okay, I'm just 127. I'll take a second here.
Sam Hill's.
Yeah, I'll definitely need 133 here.
This is the alarm here.
It says I don't know what in the Sam hell's going on in there.
All right, who's in charge? Looks like we have.
They all refuse to answer. Finally, one of them says the house dad, but nobody can contact him or call him or get him over there or wake him up. And no one wants to say. It's so weird.
Quite a bit of hazing. So I'm asking again, who's in charge?
You can talk upstairs.
No, we're gonna talk right here. Who's in charge?
A couple of us are. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, well, we need to find someone who's in charge because this is ridiculous. Hey, this stops here, guys. This is a police department. This stops here.
They don't want to quit because they don't know if it's real.
Who's in charge?
We're upstairs.
So I want to freeze the video right here and just take in what this police officer...
Is that mustard?
...walked into. You have dozens of presumably frat pledges, people trying to make this fraternity, some of them shirtless, covered in muck. There's a guy who seems to have a blindfold on. These are the kids.
I think frats are kind of weird anyways. Like, you do all these weird things and like pay money for people to like you, but I understand, like, whatever. But and there's a lot of connections you can make in them, and maybe you... I think this right here to me is the 45-year-old dads that are paying to go through the fake boot camp that we covered the other night, the alpha male camps. Kind of like that.
That are trying to be initiated into the frat, and they are just terrified to say anything to police or maybe say the wrong thing in front of the upperclassmen.
They're afraid to say the wrong thing or say anything. All they said is upstairs.
How about we start cleaning this up? Everyone take their blindfold off.
Is that what they've sprayed them all down with water or something? There's some liquid on the floor everywhere.
Can you
see anything over there? No, I mean just one dangerous fire code violation after another.
Yeah.
I'm just ridiculous amount of beds, people sleeping in there.
Yep.
I don't want to
For sure.
You're trying to get an A-berry. I know what you mean. Baby oil. Got that fucking Diddy grease, baby.
Yes, 142. I'll take you as well.
They're just standing in the dark. It's like a spooked deer or some shit.
Yikes. Officers are now trying to figure out who's in charge of this big frat house and what the heck was that? There's a firefighter who says, what the is going on here? And that seems to be the question that none of the brothers at this fraternity want to answer, especially the guy you see in that white...
Well, they know that hazing is, I'm sure, against the rules. And no one wants to answer and say that's what it is, or say that they were in charge, or they allowed it, or they knew of it, or no one wants to say anything.
A sweatshirt. He's still having a cold one, ripping a cloud from his vape, and he's blocking the doorway to what just seems like a freak show of a scene of possible hazing going on behind him.
A couple different code violations.
Well, look, dude, I was just... So what we do is we put them all in a room, and then I go around and see whose butthole's the tightest. And that's how we have the champion tension meter of the butthole, and we have a winner.
So what's going on in here?
What the fuck are you doing to that golf club, dude? Why does it smell like asshole?
I don't know. You're just blocking the door, so we can't see live here. How does nobody live here? Just hanging out? You tell me. No, you tell me. I don't know. You go University.
How does no one live here? He said no one lives here. He says, how does no one live here? And he's like, you tell me.
Yeah. You do? What's your major? Business. Business, what's your name? Why? Just what's your name is? Jose. Jose? Jose, what's your last name? Why? Who I'm talking to? I don't want to tell you that. I don't want to tell you that. Okay, how old are you?
And again, his voice is the one he's been yelling at him all night. This guy was like fucking into it.
21. All right, yeah, you got an ID or anything to prove?
I think it's fake.
Huh?
I think it's fake.
You think it's fake? You think it's fake or you know it's fake? There's two different things there.
He's still drinking. He's still vaping. He don't give a fuck. He's making jokes about his, I think that's a fake ID.
142, one by DL, number at Iowa when you're ready.
It's definitely not Jose. I go by Jose.
So Jose is off to a hot start, and he's trying
Lied about his name. He's not
to make
Jose.
small talk with the officers.
And it's weird that he's standing in the door. I think that he had way too much to do with this.
Do you have your real driver's license on you?
The real as it gets.
It's as real as it gets.
Scan it, please.
Is that room going anywhere else?
Do they not have lots in this area, by the way?
Did you say negative, or I just want to see if you had to return? My bad.
Clean record. Check it.
Copy, thank you.
Ripping some flat clouds, bro. Me too.
I go to school here.
What?
I want to be part of it.
Address.
I know. You still live in there, and you travel every day?
Iowa City.
Okay.
It's real.
Okay.
He's definitely drunk. Nothing wrong with being drunk at a frat house. I hung out with a bunch of guys that were in frats and shit. I never had the desire to join one. But maybe if I was like at a prestigious school and like this was like a prestigious frat where you like get all these fucking internships and jobs and shit, maybe I would think about it differently. But fucking East Tennessee State University ain't that. Neither was Tusculum.
You guys from around here? Sure.
I probably shouldn't touch anything here.
Jose gives a big burp in the doorway, and the officer heads upstairs, then returns a few minutes later to go back into that room full of dudes.
All right, Jose, can you step over here? Why? I need to talk to these people here. I need to step over here. I'll step inside.
And he's still like exhibiting this like power over them. Like, I'll step in here, and he wants to hear what's said, and I don't know, like he's still making the call. I don't know.
Anyone in here that needs medical attention? Is anyone here that is against their will? Is there anyone here who is not participating in this, i.e. a leader?
Bro, you need to, they need to be asked individually away from people. I guarantee there's some people that'd be like, I just want to go home. This is fucking stupid.
Is there anyone with any sort of physical injury? No.
Never answer in the negative when we're asking a question in the positive. Like, I do this in chat sometimes. People are fucking goddamn pisses me off. Does anybody know the name of so-and-so that we covered here? And people are like, I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know either. I couldn't tell you. Yeah. I need a positive answer, right? Is anybody injured? And the whole group yells no. I'm not going to hear the one person that's like, yeah, my ankle's fucking broke.
What's all over you guys?
No, he said he knows what's going on, but he said hazing right at the. He said quite a bit of hazing going on here right at the beginning.
Just water.
Just water? What's on that dude's tie?
I'm not sure it's not mine.
You? Come here.
It's right
Nope, you're gonna stand right over there.
Why?
Because I'm telling you to.
It's my house.
It's your house. You're responsible for everything that happened today. So, okay. Click in right there. Get up against the wall. Come over here. You're gonna stand in. You're gonna stand with buddy over here.
Ah, he's got a big ass fucking. Somebody's hit him. This is so weird, dude.
Milliken, take these two, ask some questions about what's going on their arms. You guys are gonna go step over there.
And he's still trying to block it. Like, what the fuck is going on?
No. Okay, who's the house dad?
I just told you he works at Call him. Go there.
What's his name?
Eric, I told you. Why are you asking me?
Because it sounds like you're responsible for the house.
No.
It sounds like you have some idea of what's going on.
No.
You're not very forthcoming with everything.
How about you ask the house dad who you for 30 years?
So we're trying to get hold of him.
Okay, go call him. Here, please. Go call him.
Yeah. Stay right there.
They're way too brazen, like talking to goddamn like campus security versus like real cops versus like turning my body camera over and beat the fuck out of you.
You guys got IDs on you? Yes, sir. Let's go. Step back. I don't know if you do.
This is private property. I can stay here.
Yeah, but right now we're investigating something that's going on.
What? There's nothing going on.
Mistake. Sit right there for me.
Following the cop around and shit, pressuring him.
Does anyone want to be forthcoming on what's going on? Anyone? Because you got to see it from my perspective. What the did I just walk into?
Celebration.
No? Celebration of what?
Life.
Okay, sweet.
Celebration of life.
So just say that.
Yes, sir.
They're well coached, right? They've been told not to say anything, not to do anything, not to volunteer information. Like,
okay, you two, come to the officers.
So potential future lawyer Jose definitely doesn't seem to want the officers talking to these shirtless pledges inside that room. And on a serious note, I do need to go back here because I just find it incredibly creepy how all of these pledges, they're huddled in the back of that room. They're shirtless. Here's what happens when the officer goes to try to talk to two pledges. And you just notice this group of kids trying to make this fraternity. They are so obedient to the brothers of this frat.
Okay, you two. Here's my you guys said.
a lot like a cult.
We're here for public safety at this point. What's on your arms? Oh. Where you guys going now?
He's taking them somewhere else.
What's on your neck?
I don't know. I can't see.
He told him to go somewhere.
Shine your light.
And do something.
Is it blood?
That's what I'm asking.
I'll taste it.
No.
Okay.
Do you see why we're here? Why we're asking questions?
I don't know. You got the wrong guy.
I was gonna ask those guys questions, and then he told
They're terrified to say anything. I'm sure there's some of them that don't want to be there, don't want to go through this, but they're scared to say their own thing. They'll get kicked out or get retaliation or some shit.
What's up?
I was gonna ask those two guys questions, but then they all started falling out. No, I stopped them, but he was.
Did you pull these guys out?
No, I went to go talk to those guys, and then they started coming out.
Why did we come out? I said that. I said they should come out. You said it? I did. So you're in charge. You said you're not in charge. I'm not in charge. I said they should go to their beds. And that's where they sleep? They're new live-ins for the next semester in the spring.
They should go to their beds. And none of this would have, the cops wouldn't have had any idea if the fire alarm wouldn't have went off. They had to accompany the fire department.
There's the house dad's here.
Okay.
So house dad's here. Yep. He doesn't seem too happy. What would happen, please? Go get him ask you. Nothing.
Yeah, we should be all right now. The crowd is just trying to leave.
No one was trying to leave. We're right here, dude. We're right here.
Okay.
You got your two IDs? Go check them.
Huh?
Go check them.
I can check them right here if I wanted to.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, cool.
Now, we did have to blur out the part of what Jose just said there, but just to make sure you know what he said for context, he called that officer a homophobic slur that begins with the letter F. Let's pick it up here.
You got nothing. You got nothing. Okay. There's no flyer here. There's no nothing.
Well, that's what we're here for.
There's we got shirts off. That's it. Celebration. Goodwill. Greetings. And it's like anyone be a cop nowadays, I guess. Sleep on that.
I don't know. It's just fucking weird, dude. It's fucking weird. Thanks, Fell Runner. I wanted to see what the house dad's excuse was. I haven't seen the full video, just so you know.
Turn on. You want to turn on? Like,
I don't care.
You can't see what the flashlight.
I just hope my kids aren't this desperate to fit in with a group. You know what I mean? Like that they'd let somebody fucking beat them or fucking humiliate them or whatever.
Not.
133, 142 on 2.
What's that scene in the Shawshank Redemption where they fucking with a broom? And it's like, I wish I could say that it was so-and-so put up a good fight. I wish I could say it. Like the sisters.
Some people might look at this, and there are a lot of people who saw this body cam video as it went viral this week, and they really cheer on a guy like Jose. One comment says that he was standing on business. Other people have said they would go to war with this guy because he is doing everything he can to protect whatever was going on in that room. But also there's a lot of people looking at this who think, you know, if I was a parent paying tuition and you see your son as one of the pledges in that room, it's just shocking to say the least. It's also just kind of awkward, and a lot of people see this as weird. Now, upstairs, the fraternity's house dad has finally returned, and this is an adult who lives at the frat house, and he's kind of like an advisor.
Have you talked to anybody? I
talked to a few people. We're just trying to get it sorted out who's involved and who's kind of leading the thing. No one's really being forthcoming on that.
Police then go downstairs and they turn on the lights. They start taking pictures in case this becomes some kind of criminal investigation. This was the room that all the pledges were in. Now, the good news is no one was hurt.
Excuse us.
Sorry, sir.
We're going to take a few photos, guys, okay?
All right.
And they have that giant speaker. I'm sure it's something to do with not letting them sleep and covering them with water and disgusting. That's fucking mustard. Yeah, he's cocky as fuck.
Is there a light in here?
Yeah, it's on the left.
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
Any light?
No.
Look at the living conditions, dude.
Yeah, definitely did these windows.
That's when I was walking up. I couldn't see them at all.
Yeah. It's like I didn't realize there were going to be lights on here. Just figured they didn't work.
Yeah, this frat house is a dump. Not a surprise, though, anybody who's been in a frat house before. The next day, police actually do investigate this case. They meet up with the man who went by the name Jose. He's now sober. He says that he doesn't remember a lot from last night. He was out at the bars, then he came back. This was a Thursday, by the way, that all of this was going down. But now he's in his home, and he's talking to a detective.
So you don't know what was going on?
No.
Yeah, what did you see in there?
A bunch of guys.
Okay. What were they doing?
You guys, police officers, they saw it, did they not? I don't know.
You saw it too, right?
No, I had my back turned to the police officer the entire time. I was never looking inside, doing whatever. I was talking to the police officer the entire time.
Okay. So you never stepped into the room?
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't remember. It was a blur.
Okay. So, like I said at the beginning, I'm trying to get your side of what happened. Last night, when the officer asked for your ID, you gave him your ID, and you made a comment that it could be fake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I did say that.
That doesn't help instill honesty.
It's a real ID.
I understand, but you saying that brings your
jokes aside. It was all just jokes.
I'm just.
It was nothing serious. You're just like on edge a little bit because right. Just hey, this might be a fake ID. Joking, hey.
Right. I'm trying to get ground rules right now.
Sure, that's fine.
I'm trying to help you with your credibility. Okay. So when you say I don't know, may have, may not have.
I have no idea what the fuck that even meant.
To know what you saw, what happened, type of thing. Okay. So there's a time and place for joking around and.
I mean, I joke all the time. Right? I just joked about him breaking my couch. You know what I mean?
So did you step into the room?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you see when you stepped into the room? Because obviously you saw something.
It was a blur, man. It was a blur. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Still not cooperating any at all, of course.
They got a lot of people.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know if I'm your guy, but.
Okay. So why were you standing in the doorway?
I was talking to cops.
Okay. When the officers asked you to step out the doorway?
I don't recall that.
Okay.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
Granted, it was like 2:30 in the morning after a night at bars. I was like severely intoxicated. Mind you, I was like, but like 2:30 in the morning, just got off the bars with buddies. I mean,
it was midnight.
Couldn't. I don't remember. Okay. I honestly don't. I woke up at 8:30 this morning.
Yes.
Hungover.
So the officer asked you to move. You said no. Yes, you move out of the way again. So you go in there, and you said that you weren't going to move out of his way, but you'd step into the room with him. Why were you so adamant about stepping into the room?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's me.
Later on, he's talking to Palmer and Teddy, I believe, back by when you go down to the right, the room with all the beds and stuff like that, right? He was talking to those two, the same officer. And you came over and stepped in front.
Yep.
Why were you injecting yourself into that?
You need to talk to them.
Why not?
What were they investigating? There's nothing going on.
So they were trying to figure out what was going on in that room.
They don't know. They just came downstairs when you guys did.
Okay.
I mean, no one knows what's going on. You're the investigators. Do some investigating. You know what I mean? You're asking
that's what I'm doing.
You're asking
what a
18, 19, 20.
dude, what a disrespectful piece of shit.
Scared. Don't know what's going on. No one knows what's going on. I don't even know what's going on.
So how do we find out what's going on if nobody?
Man, you got the wrong guy though.
Okay. That's why they're asking questions, because you didn't know, and that's why they weren't asking you, is because you said you didn't know what's going on. Because they have to ask everybody else to figure out what's going on, because you didn't know, right? So you interjecting yourself into that conversation, what good does that do?
They don't need to talk to the cops. I don't even
Why are you deciding who they need to talk to, though?
I'm just saying, they're my buddies, they're my friends.
Right. The police are doing an investigation.
About what?
They're trying to figure out what's going on in that room.
What was going on in the room? What have you heard?
So they're doing an investigation.
So you can see how hard it would be for a school administration to stop hazing.
Dictate the investigation, right? Yeah, that's for the police. That's for us to investigate. Right.
Yeah,
right.
But every once in a while, they go crazy and someone fucking dies being hazed at a college.
So why are you dictating who the police can talk to and can't talk to?
I'm just telling my buddies not to talk to them. That's it.
Okay. So you're interfering with the police officers?
Not at all. Not at all. But he never said, oh, if you don't get away, you're getting arrested. He never said that once.
He did tell you to step away. He told you to walk away.
And then he said it again, I said walk away.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
So he asked you
I would like to end this conversation right now. Please. I would like to have a word here. Okay. And if there's anything actually happening, you can call me again. But it's been a pleasure. Thanks, fellas.
So you can see that man, Jose, tells officers to leave and that he wants a lawyer. Now, hazing is a crime in the state of Iowa. It is considered a criminal misdemeanor, but no one would be charged with that. Jose's real name is Joseph Gaia. This is video of him when he was put in cuffs and arrested. He did face a charge of interfering with the officer's investigation, and according to KCRG TV, he seemed prepared to take this case to trial, but his charges were dismissed. His defense argued that the University of Iowa police officer did not face force or threats that hindered the investigation. And according to the television station, Gaia was not a University of Iowa student, and he did not live in the fraternity house. Now, as for the brothers of Alpha...
What? So he's not a student and doesn't live there either? Neither one?
Delta Phi, the university, according to the television station, Gaia was not a University of Iowa student, and he did not live in the fraternity house. Now, as for the brothers of Alpha Delta Phi, the university...
That's a fucking twist I didn't expect.
...investigated what we just all took in there on that body cam video, and the frat was suspended from the University of Iowa in February 2025. The earliest it can be reinstated, according to local media, is July 1st, 2029. That will do it for...
So everybody got kicked out of the frat because it's not part of this.
Presented by Law and Crime. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
4 years.
We're also now streaming on Peacock.
It can't be fucking frat there. All right, guys, I didn't plan on watching all that, but we did. Either way, if you want to support the show, if you like what you see, if you enjoy it, you want to hang out with us more, you want to keep it going, you can do that at this link. It's the Just Quick Tools link. The mods have it. It pops up automatically, blah, blah, blah. There's different ways to donate. Make sure you leave a message. I like to thank everybody that donates to help support the show. And if you donate while I'm off the air, I'll just thank you on the next show. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Listen to me, bitch. Make fun of Trump for a while. watch some weird shit. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I'll probably be back tomorrow. But I'll definitely be back soon. Either way, see you tomorrow, whenever. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. Like the video and join our Discord if you want to.
To see this
Need to add the Discord link to the other links.
fork and balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better
Thanks, man.
cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some
Happy birthday to Jason again.
Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers.
Here we go, I think I started some shit.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? It's it. Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. This is my mom's an alcoholic. Oh, give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking. He was doing so well. It's all over. Hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on cocks that came first. 9th inning, 2nd string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit, sending runs to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience, it's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby-eating heathens. Believing in reason with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
You don't have those guts because you're a pussy. You're a pussy wearing aviator glasses in your mother's basement, and I won't even